At the Inshan tomb of the E family, in the dead of night, Mo, a researcher from the Uzhou Institute of Archaeology and Relics, was observing a tombstone with a flashlight. Ditaizu, Yuan Zhao. It's no use. I can't see clearly. The writing on this tombstone is too severely damaged. Suddenly, a voice rang out, making her jump. Jua, you've come? I knew it. Mo looked up. Who's talking? It was that same voice. I knew you would come here one day. Mo was stunned, then was suddenly sucked inside. What's happening? That voice rang out again. Have you heard? Commissioner Xiao went to escort the bride on behalf of his sickly older brother, but ended up empty-handed. Which family's daughter is so bold to dare run away from a marriage with the Xiao family? Who else could it be? It's that crazy girl Mo. The younger brother-in-law is chasing after his sister-in-law. It was a good show to watch now. Mo transformed into a woman in ancient clothing. I can't move, it's too noisy. I can't hear clearly. It's a voice calling. Mo, wake up. Mo suddenly woke up. Who? The two of them stared at each other, and Xiao Qian spoke up. You're awake? Mo was dazed, thinking to herself, this face, could he be some A-list star? But Mo backed away. You, where did you pop out from? And you're even wearing ancient costume? Xiao Qian then said, it seems you're awake. Song Ao, take her away. Song Ao then pushed Mo onto a horse. Daring to run from a marriage with the Xiao family? You got some nerve. Get on. This horse has a fierce temper, just right for you to taste some hardship. Mo was shocked. Run from a marriage? She sat on the saddle, looking around in a daze. What is going on? Isn't this the Inshan tomb? Did I time travel and even fall into a scene of being caught after running from a marriage? But I won't obediently follow the script. Mo immediately pulled the reins tight. If you're lending me this horse, I won't be polite. Song Ao watched in astonishment as Mo spurred the horse and galloped away. Goodbye, handsome ancient guys. Song Ao coughed dryly. Damn it, she knows how to tame a horse? What are you standing there for? Go after her. Xiao Qian spoke up. No need. Song Ao was surprised. What do you mean, no need? I'm worried about you. After chasing her for over 10 miles, you're just going to let her escape without pursuit? Suddenly, Xiao Qian also disappeared. Song Ao was bewildered. Hey, can't you let a person finish their sentence before running off? Half a day later, Mo was still spurring her horse at a gallop. Even if I time traveled, why don't I have any of the original owner's memories? Xiao Qian sat on a high branch, watching her. I want to go home. I want to eat. Xiao Qian stomped his foot on the tree. Mo heard the sound and turned to look. Then, Xiao Qian landed behind Mo on the saddle. Mo turned around and said, Who's there? Get off, get lost. Xiao Qian said with a stern face, You've caused enough trouble. Mo was surprised. What? It's you again? Xiao Qian said to her, If you've had enough fun, come back with me, sister-in-law. Mo was stunned, thinking to herself, Sister-in-law? Mo froze. What did you call me? Sister-in-law? Then, a group of people followed behind Mo. She turned her head in shock. They've all caught up? Suddenly, a woman rushed forward. A brother-in-law and sister-in-law embracing like this. What has the world come to? Let go. If word of this gets out, wouldn't it be? Mo then asked, And who are you? The woman took a step back and said, I am Nanny Lan, your mother's dowry maid. Young Miss Gio, you don't even recognize me anymore? Has your madness gotten worse? Hearing this, Mo was stunned. Madness? Xiao Qian spoke up. That's right, it's madness. Mo was horrified. What? Xiao Qian explained. If I don't keep an eye on you, who knows what other trouble you'll cause? I'll have to trouble you then. Eldest sister-in-law, come up and sit with me. Mo felt like she was struck by lightning. Eldest sister-in-law. Xiao Qian led the way. Please. Mo was flustered. Afterwards, Mo sat in the carriage, leaning her head against the window in a daze. I didn't expect it to be so hot outside in the afternoon, yet so cool inside the carriage. She looked at the sleeping Xiao Qian. This guy must be asleep, right? Mo moved stealthily. Could there be ice hidden somewhere? Mo felt around a spot. There really is a mechanism. Suddenly, the box opened. So many hidden compartments. Could there be a lot of things hidden here? He even uses incense in the carriage. Is this man so refined? Seeing all the sparkling things inside, Mo looked up at the still sleeping Xiao Qian. It seems this wall also has many hidden compartments. Mo Gio reached out her hand, and suddenly Xiao Qian grabbed her wrist. Behave yourself, sister-in-law. Your behavior is truly improper. How am I supposed to explain this to my eldest brother? The carriage suddenly hit a rock and shook violently. Mo Gio panicked. This is bad. She held onto the wall, accidentally coming face to face with Xiao Qian. Xiao Qian awkwardly turned his head and leaned against the wall. Get up already. Mo Gio smiled. Was my little brother-in-law scared by just a little bump? Don't be afraid. Be good. Your sister-in-law will dote on you. Xiao Qian was stunned. You. Then Mo Gio reached out her hand. Hee, let me see what treasures are hidden in these compartments. But her hand was immediately tapped by the hilt of Xiao Qian's sword. The design of the hidden compartments here is very discreet. How did you discover them? Do you know the art of mechanisms? Right, you are a daughter of the Mo family, after all. Hearing this, Mo Gio pulled her hand back. What did you say? She thought to herself, could it be that this original owner's body is like mine, both being heirs of the Mo family skilled in the art of mechanisms? Xiao Qian spoke up. I heard that the women in your clan all bring misfortune to their fathers and husbands, are all fated to be widows, and never live past the age of 25. I originally thought my future sister-in-law would be a delicate and fragile woman, but I didn't expect. Mo Gio was horrified. What? You're saying I'll become a widow and won't live past 25? Xiao Qian nodded. Mo Gio was stunned. Wait a minute. If I bring misfortune to my husband, why are you so insistent on making me marry into your family? Xiao Qian explained. My eldest brother is gravely ill, beyond cure. The doctor said we need to find a woman with a heaven-sent affinity to marry him. Only then can the sickness be dispelled. Although you are fated to be a widow, your fate is compatible with my eldest brother's. It truly is a match made in heaven. Mo Gio was petrified, designated to be a widow, and caught in the act. Mo Gio pulled on Xiao Qian's sleeve and called out, young master. She put on a pitiful, coquettish face. I haven't had a good life all these years. Can't you give me a way out? She thought to herself, once I get away from you people, I have to find a way back to the modern era. Xiao Qian asked in surprise, you really don't want to marry? He then turned his head and signaled to Song Ao. Turn the carriage around. Song Ao spurred his horse forward and replied, yes. Mo Gio was very surprised to hear this. Where are we going? What are you up to now? Xiao Qian replied, to your house to break off the engagement. Half an hour later, at the Mo family's small courtyard in Huzi Alley, Mo Gio, Xiao Qian, and Nanny Lan stood at the door. She thought to herself, the Mo family's small courtyard. Is this the original owner's home? Nanny Lan spoke up. Lord Commissioner of Military Affairs, my young miss was momentarily confused. Please don't take it to heart. Mo Gio turned and asked, where is the Lord Commissioner of Military Affairs? Nanny Lan said in a low voice, who do you think Lord Xiao Qian is? He is the 6th young master of the Xiao family, in charge of the Bureau of Military Affairs, second to only one in court, with 100,000 of Non-Rome's troops in his hands. And Song Ao beside him is a prince. His mother is Consort Xian of the Xiao family, deeply favored by the emperor. If you offend them, you might get your entire clan executed. Mo Gio looked at Xiao Qian, thinking to herself, I didn't expect the Xiao family's background to be so unfathomably deep. I don't want to jump into this pit of fire. I must completely sever ties with them. Inside the main hall of the Mo residence, Mo Gio walked in, thinking to herself, is that old lady the original owner's mother? Why does she look so old? Mo Gio's mother, Sun Yang, sat on a chair, coughed, and said, young master of my in-laws, if Mo Gio has offended you in any way, I apologize on her behalf. But this marriage absolutely cannot be called off. Xiao Qian took a sip of tea and said, Madam, although my eldest brother is waiting to be saved, our Xiao family will not force others against their will. If your daughter is unwilling, we do not wish to make things difficult. Sun Yang gave a bitter smile and continued, it's not just the eldest young master who is waiting to be saved, but also my life and my daughter's. So for this marriage, I am counting on you. Mo Gio froze. Huh? Nanny Lan said in a low voice. Commissioner Zhao's medical skills are unparalleled in the world. One of the betrothal gifts he promised was to help you and Madam cure the premature aging and loss of beauty syndrome. Mo Gio was surprised. What is premature aging and loss of beauty syndrome? Nanny Lan explained. It's the illness of aging before the age of 25. Sun Yang sighed. Alas, you have seen my daughter's appearance, young master. Calling off the engagement is surely not her intention. I hope you can understand. Seeing this, Xiao Qian stood up. If that's the case, re-entering the Xiao family's doors is not impossible. Emojio thought to herself. I knew this guy agreeing to call off the engagement so readily couldn't be for any good reason. Xiao Qian covered his mouth with his hand and said, surely, Madam should know what that part of the dowry is. Sun Yang was stunned for a moment, then replied, right. That night, Emojio climbed onto a tree branch, a bundle on her back. I have to find a way to time travel back. What premature aging and loss of beauty? What does that have to do with me? You think locking the door can keep me in? You must be joking. My wall climbing skills are at a professional level. I'm not playing along anymore. Whoever wants to marry can go ahead and marry. She stood up holding a piece of cake. Well, it seems a bit far, the distance from the branch to the wall. Whatever. In any case, the brave Emojio fears no difficulty. At the same time, outside the courtyard, Xiao Qian was standing guard. Hearing a dog bark, he immediately opened his eyes wide. Wang Kai, what's wrong? Wang Kai was Xiao Qian's beloved dog. Suddenly, there was a scream. Emojio fell from above. It was followed by a thud as Emojio landed face first on the ground. Xiao Qian squatted down and asked, in the middle of the night, was sister-in-law so hungry you came out to eat dirt? Emojio sat up and said angrily, damn it, I fell flat on my face like this and you didn't even think to help me up. What kind of man are you? Xiao Qian replied nonchalantly, you are my sister-in-law. Men and women should keep their distance. Emojio let out a cold laugh. Not sleeping in the middle of the night, squatting in the corner of your sister-in-law's house on guard. What are you planning? Xiao Qian replied, the bride is not behaving. I'm just helping my eldest brother watch over his wife. Emojio waved her hand helplessly. You really are a loyal subject. Suddenly, she saw Wang Kai. A dog? It ran over affectionately, and Emojio froze. A dog. Then threw herself into Xiao Qian's arms. Where did the dog come from? I'm most afraid of dogs. Help. Wang Kai was also stunned. Xiao Qian said awkwardly, let go, get off me. Emojio still clung to him. No, you tell it to go away first. He then gestured, Wang Kai. The dog also left. Emojio stammered and asked, is the dog still there? At this moment, the two looked at each other, and Xiao Qian spoke. Eldest sister-in-law. The dog is gone. Only then did Emojio jump down. Just then, a scream was heard. Let me go. Two men were bullying a girl in a corner. What are you crying for? Shut up. I'm taking you to a rich family. You won't eat fine wine and rich meat. You just have to suffer hunger and cold. Is that it? The poor young lady Li Xinmon said tearfully, please don't. I beg you to let me go. Seeing this, Emojio asked, is the security here this bad? You're a commissioner of military affairs or something. Is this how you manage things? Xiao Qian crossed his arms and replied, the Bureau of Military Affairs doesn't handle civil matters. What does it have to do with me? Emojio thought to herself. I already knew this block of ice had no humanity, but I didn't expect him to lack even a shred of empathy. But if the sister-in-law you've been chasing all this way falls into someone else's hands, can you still stand by with your arms crossed and act like it has nothing to do with you? Emojio spoke up. Stop. You people are bold. Do you have any respect for the law? But they said mockingly, not bad. Another pretty young lady. We've hit the jackpot today. Li Xinmon immediately said, big sister, run quickly. Emojio's hand was grabbed by one of the men. Run where? Come enjoy a life of luxury with a young master. Emojio turned to look at Xiao Qian. You Xiao, your sister-in-law is about to be sold off. Do you still want your Xiao family's reputation? Xiao Qian, however, turned and walked away. Hey, you really don't care? The people in this world are too cold-hearted. Xiao Qian walked to a corner of the wall and stopped, then gave a signal, Shuefeng. Gather the nearby secret guards. Investigate thoroughly why people from Jiangwo dare to cross in a non-Rong to traffic people. Xiao Qian's guard, Shuefeng, appeared as you command. Your subordinate understands. Xiao Qian continued. You alone follow Emojio. Report any movement to me immediately. Do not alert the enemy. 2 days later, in Zhaoshan City, in a brightly lit room, Li Xinmon and Emojio sat on the bed. Li Xinmon, big sister, have you heard? The person just now said this is the residence of the Zhaoshan Transport Commissioner. I'm scared. Emojio comforted her. Be good. Don't be afraid. Big sister will protect you. Suddenly the door was pushed open, and the Zhaoshan Transport Commissioner, son of Prime Minister Xie Bingsheng, walked in. Little lady, couldn't you wait any longer? If you know what's good for you, take off your clothes. Emojio stepped forward and said, you can't take them off. If I take them off, you'll die. Xie Bingsheng smiled. To die at the hands of a little lady, it will be worth it for us to have one last look at this stunning beauty. Mo Gio gave a cold smile. Does the commissioner really not know who I am? Xie Bingsheng used his fan to lift her chin. Aren't I waiting for the little lady to tell me? Mo Gio swatted the fan away. I am the Jinx daughter of the Mo family, the eldest sister-in-law of Xiao Qian, the most powerful man in Nanron. If the commissioner doesn't know me, you can send someone to inquire. Xie Bingsheng was stunned, then reached out to stroke her hair. Then I have even more reason not to let you go. Once you've touched Xiao Qian's person, you can't get away. Mo Gio immediately stepped back. Commissioner, don't be hasty. You know that the heirs of the Mo family have always been able to read fortunes and feng shui, right? I see that the commissioner's glabella is dark. This is a sign of great misfortune. If you engage in intimacy at this time, you will surely face a fatal disaster. Xie Bingsheng suddenly burst out laughing. How ridiculous. I most enjoy beauties who use their brains to trick me. Tonight, I will sleep with you. Let's see what you can do. Mo Gio glared. You dare? Xie Bingsheng smiled. In this land of Zhaoshan, there is nothing I dare not do. I will not only strip you naked, but after I'm done with you, I'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs. Elsewhere in the outskirts, a carriage was moving. Inside the carriage, Xiao Qian was playing chess. Song Ao rested his chin on his hand. The guard outside reported, Master, Miss Mo Gio is in trouble. The young lady was taken into Xie Bingsheng's residence. And that guy even said, Xiao Qian, who was playing chess, immediately lifted the curtain. Said what? Shuefeng reported. He said that after he's had his fun with the young lady, he will kill her. Xiao Qian was furious. How audacious of him. A moment later, Xiao Qian arrived and kicked the door open. Song Ao shouted, Xie Bingsheng, get your ass out here. A servant immediately reported, My lords, please calm down. Commissioner Xie is already asleep. Is there some misunderstanding, my lords? Song Ao pointed at Xiao Qian and asked the servant, Are you blind? Your master is about to die, and you're still talking. Xiao Qian stood at the door, thinking to himself, Something's not right. Why is there blood all over the floor? Song Ao pushed the door open. Hey, what's going on? The servant trembled with fear. It seems to be Commissioner Xie. Xie Bingsheng's head was covered in blood, and he was sitting there hugging a pipa. Xiao Qian used the hilt of his sword to lift the servant's face and asked, Where is Mo Gio? The servant replied, Spare my life, my lord. Are you looking for that young lady who is skilled in feng shui? This humble servant doesn't know where that young lady is either. I only know that she is very capable. She pointed out a few feng shui spots and resolved the issue. It made Commissioner Xie suddenly admire her to no end, and he agreed to let her leave. Xiao Qian's attention was suddenly drawn by a noise outside. He sheathed his sword and walked out. Song Ao was surprised. Chang Yuan, wait for me. He chased after Xiao Qian. Song Ao looked up. What is that in the sky? Is it a female ghost? Meanwhile, Xiao Qian was holding a letter in his hand. Song Ao was surprised. Chang Yuan, what are you looking at? The letter read, The dowry has been compensated to you twofold. Farewell. Song Ao was suspicious. Is this from sister-in-law? Xiao Qian handed it to Song Ao and said, Report this. Xie Bingsheng committed the crimes of collusion and corruption and humiliating women, and committed suicide to escape punishment. Song Ao didn't understand. But his body is covered in stab wounds. How can that be called suicide? Before he could finish, Xiao Qian had disappeared. This guy, elsewhere, Mo Gio was flying through the air. Your sister-in-law is leaving first. Come and catch me if you can. Suddenly, the sound of a horse neighing came from behind her. Mo Gio turned her head in shock. Sixth young master Xiao? It's really him? Why does he keep chasing me relentlessly? Xiao Qian was below, spurring his horse in pursuit. The strong wind made Mo Gio's hang glider unstable. I'm screwed. I'm about to fall. I'm dead for sure. Mo Gio fell from the sky, screaming. Hearing her, Xiao Qian quickly pulled the reins and held out his arms to catch her, but Mo Gio still ended up with a bruised face. Ouch, that hurts. Xiao Qian said angrily, Get off me. Mo Gio was surprised. She was lying on top of Xiao Qian. Why does he say this every time I see him? All right. Looking at the wreckage beside her, she was speechless. Wait a minute. This is the super kite I worked so hard to make. How did it end up like this? Xiao Qian asked her, You made this? How could it carry you in the sky? Mo Gio questioned, You want to know? Then let me go, and I'll tell you. She froze as Xiao Qian suddenly threw her over his shoulder. Do you just grab people whenever you feel like it? Put me down. Sixth young master Xiao. Xiao Qian placed her on the saddle. If I don't grab you, are you going to run again? Xie Bingsheng is dead, so I can naturally suspect you. Mo Jiao immediately said, I didn't kill him. Xiao Qian gripped her wrist tightly, sitting behind her. Sister-in-law, if you dare to run again, don't blame me for being impolite and tying you to my side. Mo Jiao turned her head and asked, is Xie Bingsheng really dead? Xiao Qian grunted in affirmation. Hearing this, Mo Jiao waved her hand. Evil begets evil. The negative energy accumulated in his house couldn't escape. Something was bound to happen sooner or later. Today's outcome can be considered a fulfillment of feng shui. Xiao Qian was surprised. A fulfillment of feng shui? Weren't you tricking him? Mo Jiao explained. At first, I was planning to trick him, but I failed. Then I was taken away, and on the way, I discovered that the feng shui of his residence was indeed bad. Plus, with too many women in the house, the three yangs were seizing the yin, forming a negative killing energy. So he begged me to read his feng shui for him. I tricked him by saying he had to perform a ritual at the highest point of the residence, and took the opportunity to secretly make a hang glider to escape. Xiao Qian sighed. You kept saying you wanted to save that young lady, but now you've run away by yourself. Mo Jiao immediately replied, because I knew you would definitely go looking. Your family can't do without me. How could you let me fall into someone else's hands? When you arrived, Manor would naturally be saved. I just didn't expect you to catch up so quickly. Xiao Qian patted her head. Thank you for the compliment, eldest sister-in-law. It's all from experience in catching people. Mo Jiao forced a smile. I've already compensated you double for the betrothal gifts. Can't you let me go? But Xiao Qian immediately said, the fee Xie Bingsheng gave you? That was embezzled money. It has been confiscated. Hearing this, Mo Jiao almost coughed up blood. I can't even fly out of your grasp. I'm tired. I want to sleep. She leaned against Xiao Qian behind her. Oh, I'm so sleepy once I relax. Sixth young master Xiao. I can't hold on anymore. Then she closed her eyes. Xiao Qian supported her. The moonlight was bright. Wang Kai barked incessantly beside the carriage. Then Xiao Qian carried Mo Jiao back. Really asleep? He placed her in the carriage. Wang Kai poked its head in a look and saw her frown at its noise. Suddenly, Mo Jiao grabbed Xiao Qian's hand. Don't go. There's a dog, she said in her sleep. Can you come up here with me? Mo Jiao pulled Xiao Qian closer. Scared, Xiao Qian was a little flustered, then covered her with his coat. There's no dog, go to sleep. The next day, at the border post station, shouting could be heard from outside. What shameless vixen dares to sit in the young commissioner's carriage? Mo Jiao woke with a start. Who's yelling? Song Yin appeared before the carriage. Where did this vixen come from? Dressing so revealingly. Are you trying to seduce my cousin? Seeing this princess, why did he get down and kowtow? I am Princess Xin, personally titled by His Majesty, Commissioner Zhao's cousin, and the young Prince Song Ao is... But Mo Jiao got out of the carriage and just let out a long yawn. Oh, a princess? I finally get to see a live one. A bit arrogant, but still an antique. Song Yin was stunned. You. Then she turned to complain to Xiao Qian. Cousin, who is she? Cousin, hurry up and tell me. Mo Jiao let out a cold laugh, then said sweetly to Xiao Qian, Sixth young master, I also want to ask you, where did this cousin come from? Mo Jiao ran to Xiao Qian's side. Didn't you say last night that I'm the only one for you in this life, and you wouldn't marry anyone but me? Song Yin was stunned. Mo Jiao stood in front of Xiao Qian, calling coquettishly, Sixth young master. Song Yin then drew her sword. You shameless thing. I'm going to kill you. Xiao Qian gently pushed her away. If you can really kill her, it would be considered slaying a demon and ridding the people of a pest. It's just that her mind wasn't right when she was young. She has a madness. Don't lower yourself to her level. Song Yin immediately sheathed her blade. Cousin, it's because I'm not feeling well. I wanted to ask you to check my pulse. That's why I chased you all the way here. Xiao Qian looked at her, stunned, then said, You're fine. Suddenly, Mo Jiao spoke up. You see, he wants to watch the night scenery with me. He doesn't have time to check your pulse. Song Yan's eyes filled with tears. You people. Then Song Yan ran off crying. Mo Jiao stood there dumbfounded. Xiao Qian then said, I had no idea. He grabbed Emojio's wrist that sister-in-law wanted to watch the night scenery with me. Emojio was flustered. Suddenly, a voice called out, "Big sister Emojio." Emojio was stunned. It's Manner's voice. Song Ao brought Li Shimon over. "It's so good that you're okay, big sister." She ran over and hugged Emojio tightly. "Manner was worried sick about you the whole way." Emojio smiled. "It's okay now, it's okay. Be good." Six young master Shao. "You see, Manner is frightened. I have to take her back to rest. I can't go with you. Farewell." Then she deliberately pushed Manner to walk faster. Song Ao approached Xiao Qian and asked, "Xiao Qian, was that Song Yin who just ran out? You know her temper." "You." Xiao Qian replied. "The secret guards have already followed her." Song Ao sighed. "Forget it. She's been like this since she was little." As for Xie Bingxing's case, the Ministry of Justice has already sealed the file and sent it to Linen. For this case, I even dragged the not yet married eldest sister-in-law into it, setting up such a trap, all to catch the big fish of the Xie family. But Prime Minister Xie only has this one precious son. I'm afraid he won't let it go so easily. Xiao Qian then said, "It's fine. He can't stir up any trouble." Song Ao was surprised. "How can you be so sure?" Xiao Qian questioned. "His Majesty values me. Would he not value you?" Song Ao was impressed. "You're still the one who thinks things through." Elsewhere, Emojio returned to her room and lay lazily on the bed. A voice called out, "Emojio." Manner stood by the window and said worriedly, "It's dark, and there's still no news of Princess Xian. Will that be all right?" Emojio replied, "Why are you worrying about a royal daughter?" Manner said worriedly, "Emojio, I'm worried about you. If something happens to her, I'm afraid you'll be beheaded." There was a commotion outside. Commissioner Xiao is back. The two stood on the upper floor and watched Xiao Qian enter through the main gate. Manner was surprised. Why don't I see the little princess?" The commissioner personally rode out to find her. "And you still couldn't find the little commandery princess?" Emojio said to her. The moment Song Yin ran off, Xiao Qian sent people after her. How could she have vanished so quickly? Suddenly, a stomach rumbled. Manner said awkwardly, "Teach that is I." Emojio smiled. "Are you hungry?" It's normal for a growing child to get hungry easily. "You said you have nowhere to go and want to follow me. I can't just let you go without even a meal to eat, can I?" Li Shinmon stammered again. "But it's past mealtime. The relay station doesn't serve food to the servants anymore." Emojio spoke up. "Servants, masters, what's the difference? I just saw someone deliver fresh fruit to Envoy Zhao's room. I'll go get some for you. Wait here obediently." In the main room of the relay station, a dim light shone from within. Emojio thought to herself, "He just got back. Could he be asleep already? The window is open. I'll take a look." Emojio peeked through the crack in the door. If he's really asleep, then she froze. Xiao Qian was soaking in a bathtub, drinking tea. Emojio got a nosebleed. Suddenly, Xiao Qian noticed. He shouted, "Who's there?" Xiao Qian then put on his clothes. Emojio covered her mouth in shock. "I'm doomed. He found me." She heard footsteps approaching. "What's that sound?" Emojio looked up. "Is it coming from the rafters?" A person in a veiled hat was on the rafters. A bad guy. He immediately threw a dagger. Suddenly, Xiao Qian appeared and pulled her aside. "Men after him." Emojio looked at Xiao Qian in a daze. This man is just too handsome. I'm doomed. I'm doomed. Am I bewitched by him again? How can I be so easily taken advantage of?" Xiao Qian then asked, "What are you looking at?" Emojio awkwardly turned her head away. "That person?" Xiao Qian questioned, "Why did you appear here?" Emojio hastily made an excuse. "I want to buy some sliced fish congee to eat, can I? If you don't believe that, I'll say something else. Because I was too poor as a child and didn't bathe often, now whenever I see water, I just want to soak in it." After speaking, Emojio froze again. "Strange, my eyes can't leave Six Master Xiao at all. My heart is pounding like it's about to explode. It's like this is a dream, and when I wake up, everything will be different. So complicated." Watching Xiao Qian tying his clothes, she wanted to rush over and embrace him, to possess every breath on his body, wanting time to stop so she could be with him forever. Emojio ran over and hugged Xiao Qian, but was immediately pushed away by him. "I'll give you one last chance for your final words." Emojio stammered, Well, can I touch your abs?" Emojio covered her mouth again, thinking to herself, "It's over. Why did I say such improper things?" Six Master Xiao, she felt her head spinning. What are you trying to do?" Xiao Qian suddenly swept her into his arms. Be still, you've been poisoned. In the room, Xiao Qian ground medicine to apply to Mo Jio's wound. My agarwood combined with the Jun poison on the dart that hit you. When mixed, create a type of aphrodisiac poison. Mo Jio asked in confusion. So, this poison stimulates a person's desires, making them infatuated with beauty? Xiao Qian immediately stood up. No, it's because you saw my body that your heart was stirred. Mo Jio hastily explained. That's not it. I didn't look at you, and even if I did, I didn't see anything. On the other side, Xiao Qian walked to the medicine cabinet to get something. Meanwhile, Mo Jio was still muttering. Even if I saw it clearly, I wouldn't be like this. What on earth did you do to this agarwood to make me feel so strange? Suddenly, Xiao Qian pinched her mouth open and stuffed a pill inside. I already told you. With the pill forced in, Mo Jio had no choice but to swallow. Xiao Qian still held her mouth, ordering, be quiet. After that, Mo Jio could no longer speak. She punched his chest. What did you make me eat? Xiao Qian pinched Mo Jio's cheek and said, this medicine will make you mute for one night. You'll be fine by tomorrow. Then he took out a handkerchief to wipe his hands. This is just a reminder that what happened tonight must not be told to anyone else. Mo Jio turned to look at him in confusion, just as a voice called from outside. Envoy, Xiao Qian ordered. Come in. Xue Feng came to report. Your subordinate was incompetent. The assassin's skills were extraordinary. I couldn't catch up. Also, seeing Xue Feng hesitate, Xiao Qian glanced at the fruit platter. It's late. Sister-in-law, finish your watermelon and rest early. He tossed a plate of watermelon to Mo Jio. She gritted her teeth, took the plate, and left, leaving the two of them alone. Xiao Qian poured a cup of tea and asked, what is it, speak? Xue Feng reported. The spies report that they've recently discovered the whereabouts of the Mo family's left steward, Mo Wang. I'm afraid he has been following us since Zhaoshan. It seems he's targeting Miss Jio, but this person is extremely vigilant. Our men couldn't find his hiding place. Xiao Qian took a sip of tea. If that's the case, we'll just let him reveal himself. Early the next morning, a voice called from outside. Shimon, Li Shimon entered the room and asked her, Sister, you can speak now? Are you feeling unwell anywhere? Mo Jio, sitting on the bed, replied no. She thought to herself, a non-toxic, side-effect-free medicine that can make someone mute? Isn't this medicine of Xiao Qian's too miraculous? Shimon came closer to put a cloak on her. The envoy gave orders early this morning. The group will stay here for 2 days to search for the commandery princess. If you're bored, sister, you can go out for a stroll. Mo Jio was surprised. Why isn't that guy afraid I'll run away anymore? Shimon continued. He said that if you run, you know the consequences yourself. Mo Jio angrily stood up to wash her face. Shimon asked her, so are we going out? I heard the market in Sanjiang is much livelier than in Zhaoshan. Mo Jio agreed. Let's go. Why wouldn't we? Outside, the market was bustling with people, incredibly lively. Don't miss it as you pass by. Mo Jio and Shimon arrived at stall. Suddenly, Mo Jio spotted a figure in the distance. That person is... She immediately walked over. Shimon was surprised. Sister Mo Jio. Mo Jio smiled at the person. It seems you were waiting for me? Mo Wang bowed, yes. Miss Jio, I've come to take you away. Mo Jio was stunned. Mo Wang sighed and said, the day you fled the wedding, Miss Jio, I led men to pursue you. By the time I came back to find you, you had already been taken away by the Xiao family's people. Hearing this, Mo Jio was stunned. So that's what happened? No wonder I heard people gossip that the original owner ran away midway for a dashingly handsome man. Wait, it was you? I've finally waited for you. Hurry and take me away. That sixth master Xiao is no good. If I stay with him any longer, I might lose my life one day. Shimon from behind asked worriedly, Sister, where are you going? Please don't cause trouble anymore. If Envoy Xiao finds out, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep your life. Mo Jio immediately replied, by the time he gets here, I'll be long gone. But Envoy Xiao, seeing this, Mo Wang immediately pulled Mo Jio into his arms. Shimon was stunned. The envoy is here. Xiao Qian was on horseback, leading a troop of men and horses. Where are you planning to go, sister-in-law? Planning to elope with someone? Seeing Xiao Qian arrive, Mo Jio thought to herself, this man is a lingering ghost. Seeing Mo Wang, Xiao Qian spoke up, you've come. I, Xiao, have been waiting for you for a long time. He signaled his subordinates. Mo Jio was furious. So that's how it is. Sixth Master Xiao, I was wondering why you were suddenly so kind as to let me go out. It turns out it was to lure my lover out. Mo Wang, holding a jade flute, was surrounded by soldiers. He laughed heartily. Miss Jiao, no need to worry. Since Envoy Xiao wanted to see me if I didn't come, wouldn't that be disappointing the envoy? Xiao Qin glanced at him, then turned to Mo Jiao and said, Sister-in-law, surely you haven't forgotten about running away from the wedding? You'd best remember him well. Mo Wang thought to himself, no wonder Miss Jiao isn't the same as before. Did she really fall and hit her head? Xiao Qian ordered. What are you standing there for? Seize him. Several soldiers immediately rushed forward. Mo Wang bent his jade flute and immediately counterattacked, and those men fell to the ground. Shimon cried out worriedly, Sister, what do we do now? If you know this young master, quickly plead with the envoy. Tell them to stop. Mo Jiu let out a cold laugh. Why should I plead with him when I've done nothing wrong? Can't you see my lover has the upper hand? Xiao Qian immediately ordered, all of you, stand down. Mo Wang stood on a tree branch and said in a loud voice, Envoy Xiao is indeed a man of courage. Is this your way of letting me go? Xiao Qian drew his sword. You had Xie Bingxing dress as a woman and tortured him to death by 1,000 cuts. Then you used cruel methods to murder a court official. How can this humble servant spare you? Mo Wang replied, Xie Bingxing was worse than a pig or a dog. I killed him only to rid the people of a menace. Hearing this, Mo Jiao was stunned. Xie Bingxing was killed by him, and with such cruel methods. It doesn't seem like something an upright and honorable person would do. Xiao Qian said to him, Mo Wang, you are the left steward of the Mo family. By doing such a thing, are you not afraid of tarnishing the Mo family's name? Mo Jiao thought to herself, Mo family? Steward? Could it be, as I predicted, that this world also has a Mo family descended from a branch of Mozi? It seems that, as a descendant of the Mo family, transmigrating into Mo Jiao's body was not a simple coincidence. Mo Wang stood on the branch, facing Xiao Qian. We disciples of the Mo family have always made it our duty to eliminate evil and quell violence. Besides, for someone like him to dare insult Mo Jiao, you really can't blame me. Envoy Xiao resisted our enemies for the country and achieved great military merit in Western Yu. Mo Wang does not wish to be your enemy. Today, I only wish to take Mo Jiao back. Xiao Qian immediately rushed forward. If you can defeat me, I will let you take her away. Xiao Qian stood before Mo Wang. In any case, I must fight you. Mo Wang laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Envoy Xiao is truly a straightforward man. Make your move. The two clashed in midair, the sound of swords ringing out. Mo Jiao thought to herself, this Xiao fellow's martial arts are too powerful. I hope this pretend lover of mine can win. I'm counting on him to get me out of this tiger's den. Seeing Mo Wang kneeling on one knee, she thought, it's over. Mo Jiao immediately went forward and pulled Xiao Qian's arm. Hey, stop fighting. She then slapped Mo Wang. You scoundrel. How dare you raise a hand against Envoy Xiao? Then she pushed him hard. Take a look at yourself. This face, this figure, how can any part of you compare to Sixth Master Xiao? I have such a handsome man by my side, a feast for the eyes every day. Why would I go with you? She said, while pushing Mo Wang, then whispered, why aren't you running? Xiao Qian frowned. Mo Jiao. But Mo Wang grabbed her shoulder, struggling to his feet. I can't leave. I am a man of my word. Since I made a promise to Envoy Xiao, I will not flee just because I lost. Besides, when I was in danger, you stepped in to help. How could I easily abandon you? Mo Jiao gave a forced laugh. Ha ha. She thought to herself, that's because I was hoping you'd run and take me with you. I didn't expect you to be so honest. Suddenly, Song Ao appeared, shouting, Mo Wang, your Mo family is truly audacious. If anything happens to my sister, I will chop you into 100 pieces. Hearing this, Mo Jiao was surprised. What's wrong? Was a commandery princess taken by the Mo family? Xiao Qian sheathed his sword and said, I was looking for you precisely for this matter. I know this was done by a branch of the Mo family's right steward and has nothing to do with your left faction. But the imperial court doesn't care about your Mo family's internal strife. Does the Mo family really want to oppose the court? Please think it over, left steward. Mo Wang asked him back, what do you want me to do? Xiao Qian said immediately. The commandery princess was taken by the right steward to Shangxian Villa. The villa is surrounded by complex mechanisms that are difficult to bypass. Please lead the way, steward. Mo Wang agreed. Mo Jiao thought to herself. So the one who kidnapped Song Yin was the right steward's faction? The Mo family, under the leadership of the Ju Zi, is divided into left and right stewards who manage important affairs. It seems the two factions have become extremely polarized in this generation. This is a good opportunity to go to the Southern Rhone MO family to investigate and maybe even find clues about my transmigration. Mo Wang had already turned to leave. Mo Gio spoke up. I want to go too. But Mo Wang stopped her. No, it's too dangerous. You should just wait for me here. Mo Gio immediately turned around and pleaded with Xiao Qian with a pitiful look. Sixth Master Xiao, I want to go. Xiao Qian questioned, why should I take you, sister-in-law? Mo Gio said smugly, can't you see? I'll run away. If you're not here, will they be able to find me? Xiao Qian said immediately, if I lock you in your room, sister-in-law, you naturally won't be able to run. Mo Wang was furious. Xiao Qian, you dare? Mo Gio stopped him. AI, of course he dares. But Sixth Master also knows I'm proficient in the art of mechanisms. A single lock to keep me in? I'm afraid that's a bit difficult. Why not take me along? On one hand, you can keep an eye on me, and on the other, if we encounter any mechanisms, I can help. How about it? Xiao Qian then ordered, halt, prepare the horses. Since sister-in-law has it all planned out, I will naturally comply. Then Mo Gio climbed onto a horse. Xiao Qian followed behind and said, but if you act on your own along the way, sister-in-law, then don't blame me for being impolite. Mo Gio laughed coldly. Impolite how? Xiao Qian provoked. Sister-in-law can try and see. Half a day later, the group was on the road. Mo Gio looked excited. I'm so stiff from riding for so long. Left steward, talk with me for a bit. Mo Wang smiled. What about? Mo Gio leaned in close and said, the case of Xie Bingsheng, you didn't actually do it, did you? I guess although you killed him, the death by 1,000 cuts and flaying was probably the work of the Mo family's right faction. With the conflict between the left and right factions being so intense, why doesn't the Mo family's Zhu Zi do anything about it? Mo Wang said immediately, Miss Gio is indeed intelligent, but you may not know, the Mo family's Zhu Zi passed away many years ago. Before his death, he described a new, fated Zhu Zi, but we still haven't found that person. Mo Gio was surprised. There's a fated Zhu Zi? How would you know? Mo Wang replied, Miss Gio, this is an organizational secret of the Mo family. Please forgive me for not being able to disclose it. Mo Gio pleaded. Then can I join the Mo family right now and take your master as my own? Eldest senior brother, hurry up and tell me. Riding ahead, Song Ao was surprised. What are they talking about back there? Their horses are about to collide. TSK, Zhang Yuan, your face looks like you want to eat someone alive. Xiao Qian's face was grim. He picked up a pebble and flicked it at the neck of Mo Gio's horse. The horse immediately reared up. Mo Gio was terrified. Xiao Qian quickly moved forward and grabbed her reins. Left steward, we're about to reach Hengze's territory. You go ahead and lead the way. Mo Wang immediately replied, understood. Then Mo Wang spurred his horse forward, while Xiao Qian rode on the same horse as Mo Gio. Mo Gio spoke up and asked, Sixth Master Xiao, do you think my horse can understand human speech? It was fine one moment and went crazy the next. Could it be that it heard, I wanted to become an apprentice and find a senior brother, so it got upset? Xiao Qian said to her calmly, sister-in-law may not know. This is a horse from my Xiao family. Mo Gio was surprised. So what? Xiao Qian said softly, it doesn't like seeing a woman of my Xiao family getting too close to another man. In the dense forest outside Shangxian Villa, Mo Wang played his jade flute. Hearing the flute, a Mo family disciple appeared. Mo Linger was excited. Mo Linger pays her respects to the left steward. Mo Wang immediately ordered, lead the way for me. Mo Linger replied, yes, but she immediately saw the man and woman behind him. Sister Yen. Mo Wang immediately said, she is Mo Gio, not Sister Yen. Linger was surprised, but she and Sister Yen looked so much alike. Mo Wang said, Sister Yen has already passed away. Linger said sadly, yes. Seeing this, Mo Gio thought to herself, who is this Sister Yen? She looks somewhat like me. Enough for this little girl to mistake me for her. Xiao Qian spoke up. Let's go. That evening, their group finally arrived. Mo Gio complained, we've traveled such a long way. I'm starving to death. I wonder if there's food to eat at their place? Mo Wang replied, it's right ahead. Mo Linger said excitedly, look, the lights are bright ahead. We've arrived. A line of women stood at the entrance to welcome them. The right steward, Shangya, stood at the front and spoke. Raji, light the lamps. The little prince and the secret envoy have come from afar. It is all due to Shangya's poor hospitality. I hope your highness and envoy Xiao can forgive me. Shangya was dressed revealingly. causing several soldiers to stare blankly. So beautiful. To think there's such a beautiful woman in the world. Song Ao spoke up and asked, "Where's the commandery princess?" Shanya moved closer to Xiao Qian and replied, "The little commandery princess is an honored guest of the villa. I had no intention of restraining her, but the princess was anxious and insisted on waiting for Envoy Xiao to arrive before she would leave. I had no choice but to trouble Envoy Xiao and the little prince to make this trip personally. I have prepared tea and refreshments. Please come inside." Song Ao and Xiao Qian looked at each other. Then Xiao Qian called out, "Mo Jio, come here." Mo Jio approached him and said, "This person doesn't look like a kind sort. If we just barge in like this." Xiao Qian said immediately, "It's fine. I'm here." Then he took her hand and walked forward. "Stay close to me. Don't wander off." Shanya led their group inside. "Please come in. This is our villa's guest house. This little sister looks like an old acquaintance of mine, just that her beauty is a little inferior to hers." Mo Jio immediately said, "This Annie is truly ignorant. Using your decades-old eyes to judge my teenage appearance. Is that fair? I'm still a young maiden. Isn't that right, Sixth Master?" Shanya gritted her teeth and thought, "How dare she mock me? She truly doesn't know her place. Does she deserve to speak to me here?" Suddenly, her foot tripped and she fell towards Xiao Qian. "Aya!" But Mo Jio quickly grabbed her arm. "Annie, be careful. Although you're plump and fleshy, falling on someone will still hurt." Shanya fell to the ground. "You." Song Ao looked around and asked, "Right steward, where is she? Bring her out." Shanya then took off her outer robe, completely unabashed. When the little commandery princess entered the villa, she curiously wandered into the Qiankuan cave and encountered my soul-separating goo. Song Ao was alarmed. "She was poisoned by a goo? Why didn't you say so earlier?" Shanya moved closer to Xiao Qian. "Your Highness, don't be anxious. This goo poison, I can cure it. It's just that the method is a bit special. It requires me to taste 100 herbs, cultivate the art of healing, and, at the same time, with a body of pure yang like Envoy Zhao's, if I am graced with his favor. Only then can I cure the goo for the commandery princess." Mo Jio immediately cut in. "You have to sleep with him to cure the goo poison? This method is truly rare." Shanya continued, "The little commandery princess's goo poison cannot be delayed. This is the best way. Is the envoy unwilling to grant me this small request?" Xiao Qian laughed coldly. "The request is indeed very small. Unfortunately, this humble servant is a neat freak by nature and doesn't like to be involved with the filth of women." Shanya was displeased. "Is Envoy Xiao going to be so disrespectful to me?" Mo Jio pushed her away. "Right steward has misunderstood. If Annie also knows that Envoy Xiao is proficient in medical arts, then for a small matter like detoxification, why would we need the right steward to trouble herself by offering her body? Isn't that right, Sixth Master Xiao?" Xiao Qian replied, "That's right. Just hand the commandery princess over to this humble servant. The rest does not need to trouble the right steward." Shanya ordered Ruaji, "If that's the case, then please bring the little commandery princess out." Ruaji replied, "Yes." Song Ao was shocked when he saw Song Yan. "Song Yan, what happened?" Song Yan was dazed and lifeless. "What happened to my sister?" Mo Jio thought while eating a pastry. "The little commandery princess's condition doesn't look good." Song Ao supported Song Yan and said to Xiao Qian, "Zhang Yuan, is there really a cure for this soul-separating goo?" Shanya cut in, "Envoy, the soul-separating goo must be cured using my method." Mo Jio suddenly spoke up. "Ouch. Right steward, are the pastries here undercooked? My stomach hurts so much. Let me borrow your latrine for a moment." Linger spoke up. "Linger will take you, sister." Then Mo Jio followed Linger. "Sister, how can you have a stomachache after just one bite? Could it be that it's really undercooked?" Mo Jio replied, "Silly girl, of course I'm pretending. Let me ask you, are the words that Demonis said true or false? Does Song Yan's poison really need such a strange method to be cured?" Linger whispered to her, "You don't know, sister, that right steward has always been improper. She even slept with her own master. She practices a kind of beauty-preserving art, absorbing yang energy. For someone as powerful as Envoy Xiao, she naturally covets him. Therefore, the request she made to the envoy, I'm afraid it has nothing to do with curing the goo." Mo Jio deduced, "So that's how it is." "Linger, do you know where the well in this villa is?" Linger was surprised. "Sister, what are you looking for a well for?" Mo Jio said immediately, "The secrets of heaven must not be revealed." A moment later, The two returned. Mo complained, "We're finally back. I didn't expect the well and the villa to be so far away." Suddenly, there was a loud noise from the other side. "What's going on?" The elder of the Mo family's Gate, Xiao Zhanping, appeared. He laughed heartily. "For all of you to gather here today, it's truly lively." Linger was frightened and hid behind the door with Mo. Xiao Zhanping, "Why is he here?" Mo asked her. "You know him?" Linger replied. "He's the elder of the Mo family's Gate. This formation, could it be that he wants to rebel?" Mo quickly pulled Linger and ran. "What are you waiting for? Let's go." The two ran behind Xiao Qian. She thought to herself, "It's still safer next to Xiao Qian." Xiao Qian glared at her. "What are you looking at?" Mo smiled sheepishly. "Nothing. I just feel that our sixth master is getting more and more handsome." Shanya shouted loudly. "Xiao Zhanping, the prince and the envoy are still here. How dare you be so presumptuous?" Xiao Zhanping laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha. I was waiting for today's opportunity. Today, all of you must die here." On the court side, Prime Minister Xie is already handling it. From now on, the Mo family will quell its internal strife and restore its prestige. "Ha ha." Song Ao was furious. "You bastard. How dare you?" Xiao Zhanping let out a cold laugh. Suddenly, the earth and sky shook. Xiao Qian held Mo tightly as the teacups on the table shattered. Then the roof collapsed. Xiao Qian shielded Mo. "Be careful." Everything in the house collapsed. Mo looked at him blankly. "All right, you don't have to say any more. I can get down myself." Xiao Qian squatted down and asked, "Are you hurt?" Mo sighed. "No." Then she noticed, "Sixth Master Xiao, something is flying towards us." Xiao Qian stood in front of Mo. "Hide behind me." A swarm of red bees flew towards them. Xiao Qian used a sword to fend them off, but one bee flew over and stung Mo's neck. "My neck hurts." "What the hell is this?" "Xiao Qian, why is there a pattern on your neck?" On the other side, in the secret chamber, Shangyu was shocked. "What? How did this happen? How did it turn out like this? Why did my goo worm acknowledge a master? I raised it for so long. Why did it end up benefiting you, you little wench?" Shangyu held a candlestick. "I went through so much trouble to team up with Xiao Zhanping to stage this rebellion, deliberately letting Xiao Qian sit on the entrance to the mechanism, precisely so he would fall into the secret chamber with me, and then I could take the opportunity to release the cloud and rain goo. This type of goo worm has a characteristic. Once it flies out of the box, it will seek out its master. Was supposed to be parasitic on me and Xiao Qian." She gritted her teeth. "Who knew this crazy wench would fall down with us and dare to steal my cloud and rain goo?" Xiao Qian drew his sword and pointed it at Shangya. "What have you done?" Shangya pushed the blade away. "Emissary, it has nothing to do with me. This goo insect was raised by my master. It accidentally flew out when we fell into the secret chamber. Although I don't know what this is, I am the only one in the world who knows the antidote. Please reconsider, emissary." Mo squatted down and sneered. "Is that so? But I know too. When I was a child, I read a book that said no matter what kind of goo poison it is, there's a universal way to cure it." Mo held out her hand, and that is to use human flesh and blood to feed it. Mo lifted Shang Ya's chin. "You're so beautiful. I wonder what you taste like?" Shang Ya said angrily, "You dare? If you kill me, you won't live either." Xiao Qian pressed his sword to her neck. "Right, Deacon. I don't like to beat around the bush. You'd better be direct." Shanya pleaded, "Spare my life. Emissary, I really don't know what kind of goo poison this is. Although I can't cure it for now, as long as the emissary makes love with me, I can help you detoxify." Xiao Qian said angrily, "In that case, there's even less need for you." He kicked Shangya to the ground. "I'll ask you one last time, what goo poison have I been afflicted with? If you dare to deceive me, next time I will take your head." Shangyu was terrified. Emissary, spare me. The goo insect has already entered the body. I truly have no clue and no solution for now. But the mechanism can be opened." Shangyu tremblingly reached for the wall. "No, it's impossible. I wouldn't dare deceive the emissary. The matter of falling into the secret chamber to cure the princess's goo was all a deliberate act, conspired by me and Xiao Zhanping." Xiao Qian questioned, still daring to play tricks in front of me. Shangya panicked. "No, I wouldn't dare deceive the emissary. The matter of falling into the secret chamber to cure the princess's goo was all a deliberate act, conspired by me and Xiao Zhanping. But the current situation is not what I wanted." Shangya, covered in blood, leaned against the wall and said, "Xiao Zhanping and I were in love, but I was later forced by my master to cultivate the Charm Sutra and swallow the Charm Goo. In order to cure the Charm Goo and elope with Xiao Zhanping, I set up this scheme. But he betrayed me. After speaking, Shanya closed her eyes and fainted. Gio panicked. Xiao Qian, she's not dead, is she? If she dies, what'll we do if our goo poison acts up? Xiao Qian asked her, are you scared? Gio went forward to check Shanya's breathing. Nonsense, I don't want to die yet. She breathed a sigh of relief. It's good she's not dead. It seems if we want to get out of here, we can only rely on ourselves. Gio pressed against the wall, feeling around, but there was no reaction. There are 12 reliefs in the secret chamber, each carved with a heavenly stem. The 10 heavenly stems are all the same, but the 12 earthly branches of the zodiac are different. With so many combinations, we can't try them one by one. Damn it, how long will this take? Suddenly she noticed something on the side. What's that? A Lubon lock. How could this possibly stump me? Gio picked it up with interest, fiddling with it, and quickly solved it. Look, I got a sonic compass. It seems to be designed according to feng shui principles. My precious, it's mine now. Xiao Qian snatched it. You dare to touch anything? Truly unafraid of death. Gio held the compass high. What am I afraid of? You'll save me. Xiao Qian was helpless. Suddenly, Gio felt dizzy. Xiao Qian hurriedly supported her. Gio, what's wrong? What does it hurt? Then Xiao Qian picked her up. Forgive my impertinence. Gio lay on the bed, her face contorted in pain. Xiao Qian was worried. Gio. He looked at the pattern on Gio's neck and thought, this strange red pattern, could it be that the goo insect is acting up? Suddenly, Gio grabbed Xiao Qian's hand. Xiao Qian asked worriedly, what does it hurt? Gio opened her eyes slightly. My head hurts so much. Xiao Qian moved closer, reaching out to rub her head. Let me see. Gio suddenly sat up. Hey, no need. I was tricking you. I'm just hungry. Xiao Qian's face darkened. Gio. No one has ever dared to play with me like this. Gio looked at him with pleading eyes. Don't be angry. I wasn't completely tricking you. I really was dizzy and couldn't stand just now. Xiao Qian turned away. Gio probed, looking at the compass on the bed and thinking. When I picked it up, I suddenly fainted. She picked up the compass. Unless there's some mystery in this sonic compass. Xiao Qian said angrily, still daring to touch things recklessly. Gio winked playfully at him. Good boy Lu Lang, don't be so tense. I feel this compass has a connection with me. It won't harm me. Gio turned to Shanya and said, hey, I saved your life anyway, so you can give me this compass, right? Shanya was still unconscious. Gio went over to bandage her wound. You're not objecting, so I'll take that as a yes. Then the lights went out. Gio moved in surprise. This sound is Xiao Lu Lang. The secret chamber is shaking. We have to hurry. There was a rumbling sound from outside. Suddenly, Xue Fong appeared with soldiers. Your subordinate was late. I beg the emissary's forgiveness. The unconscious Xiao Zhanping was thrown in, tied up. Shanya slowly woke up. Zhanping. Gio thought to herself. No wonder this Xiao Qian fellow didn't look worried at all. He was indeed prepared. Xiao Qian reached out to adjust Gio's clothes, then pulled her along. Let's go. Once outside, Gio asked curiously, by the way, Xiao Lu Lang, that red medicine bottle in your medicine box, what is it for? Xiao Qian questioned, what did you do? Gio replied, earlier when Linger and I went to the latrine, we found the well and poured some in. Hearing this, Xiao Qian frowned. He saw the label Happy Pills and thought, it's better to have fun together than alone. The others were all tied up in the courtyard. The disciples of the right faction of the Mahis school had flushed faces. Hearing this, Xiao Qian helplessly covered his face. Gio, you're really something. Gio sneered, you flatter me. You, on the other hand, look like a righteous gentleman. But didn't you also concoct that kind of medicine? Xiao Qian said, ahem, Xue Fong. Xue Fong stepped forward. Your subordinate is here. Xiao Qian ordered. Xie Bingxing's case is not much related to the princess's poisoning, but it's also not related to the ordinary disciples. Pass down the order, release all the others. Xue Fong acknowledged the order. Xiao Qian continued. The young prince and I will take over this case. Xiao Zhanping and Mo Wang are to be taken to the capital and handed over to the steward for handling. You will escort Miss Jiu back to Chu Prefecture. This journey must be handled with care. Xue Fong held up a cloak. Your subordinate understands. The road is rainy. Please put on this cloak, emissary. Gio spoke up. Wait, you're leaving? Xiao Qian asked back, what else? Mo Jiu felt a pang of disappointment. Is it a good thing that he's leaving? Why do I feel so empty? Xiao Qian then said, my eldest brother's wedding is set for the 18th of next month. I must return to Chu Prefecture by the beginning of the month. Mo Jiu forced a smile. Oh, actually you don't have to rush back. Xiao Qian asked, don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Then he draped the cloak over her. Wait obediently to be married. Don't run around. Then he patted her head. Don't worry about the poisoning. I'll figure something out. Half a month later, in Chu Prefecture, in a carriage decorated with wedding flowers, Mo Jiu was fast asleep. In her dream, she saw Xiao Qian's hand brush past her neck. The candlelight in the room was dim. Xiao Qian said to her sister-in-law, forgive my offense. Suddenly a voice called out, excuse me, Miss Jiu. Mo Jiu groggily sat up, drool still at the corner of her mouth. Xue Fong lifted the curtain. Mo Jiu thought to herself, what's wrong with me lately? Always dreaming about Xiao Qian for no reason. Could it be the effect of the goo insect? Xue Fong informed her, Miss Jiu, we have arrived at the Duke Xiao residence. Please alight from the carriage. Then Mo Jiu was helped out of the carriage, and she was surprised to find the wife of the second son of the Xiao family, Wen Jingshu, standing at the door. Jingshu greets her new sister-in-law. The old madam specifically instructed Jingshu to wait here and invite sister-in-law into the residence. Mo Jiu asked in surprise, you are? Jingshu replied, Jingshu is the wife of the second son. Mo Jiu thought to herself, second son? Xiao Qian's second brother? Jingshu continued, the old madam and the elders are already waiting inside. We can't delay. Xin Min whispered in her auntie's ear, Annie, there's a difference between the main and collateral lines and a hierarchy of seniority. Sister Mo Jiu is marrying the eldest son of the Xiao family. Why are they making her use the side door? The auntie sighed. Alas, perhaps the rules of the Duke Xiao residence are different. An hour later, Jingshu led Mo Jiu inside. As Mo Jiu walked, she thought, the Xiao family says they're marrying a wife. To put it bluntly, aren't they just marrying a tool to bring good fortune to the eldest son? They know the original owner of this body was foolish and mad, so they've even dispensed with basic courtesy. Suddenly, ahead, a drunkard was sitting in the courtyard, muttering nonsense. Lady Xiao of Huaixianglu, the second son of the Xiao family, Xiao Changyu. He hugged a wine jar, leaning on a pillar and mumbling. Another one today. None of them are any good. Boring. So boring. Jingshu ran over and called, husband, why are you so drunk? Xiao Changyu, shove her away. Get lost. Jingshu was flustered. Second son. Xiao Changyu said, well now, where did this little miss come from? She's quite pretty. He stood up, staggering with his arms outstretched in front of Mo Jiu. Why is this little miss frowning so tightly? This little mouth, this slender waist. You've captivated your second master. Xiao Changyu lunged and missed. You've captivated your second master. Mo Jiu asked, what do you want? Jingshu cried out in alarm. Husband, don't she is. But Xiao Changyu stood up and kicked Jingshu down. Shut up. Just looking at your face ruins my mood. Then he drooled as he looked at Mo Jiu. Little miss, don't be afraid. Let your second master give you a kiss. Mo Jiu said, you're drunk. Changyu retorted, second master is not drunk. Mo Jiu rested her chin on her hand and asked, then do you know what I want to do? Xiao Changyu smiled. Could it be you also want to have some fun with your second master right now? Mo Jiu sneered, I want to help you sober up. After saying that, she sent him flying with a kick. He fell into the lotus pond with a splash. Jingshu and the servants on the bank panicked. Master, what should we do? Xiao Changyu then climbed out on his own. Men, where are the men? Seize this wretched girl for me. Xiao Qian suddenly appeared. I like to see who dares. Mo Jiu was surprised. Xiao Qian. Jingshu was stunned. Sixth son. And Xiao Changyu gritted his teeth. Sixth son, why are you protecting that mad girl? The matter of her pushing me into the water. Don't think I'll let it go so easily. Xiao Qian stood in front of Mo Jiu. She is Miss Mo, the eldest sister-in-law whom my eldest brother is properly marrying. I advise you to know your limits and not to act so presumptuously. Xiao Changyu was shocked. So it's the rumored mad sister-in-law? No wonder she's so insolent and rude. It's just that eldest brother has no say in this residence. What does a sister-in-law like her count for? Sixth son, if you protect her, I'll go tell grandmother. Xiao Qian challenged. In that case, second brother, be my guest. Then Xiao Changyu left. Mo Jiu smiled and asked, how did you get back from the capital so quickly? Xiao Qian sighed, stepped closer and said, you tell me, I haven't even asked you. Why is my sister-in-law causing trouble again? Mo Gio frowned, gave a forced smile, and pushed him away. I haven't even asked you. I just stepped into your family's home, and your second brother was harassing me. How is that reasonable? Xiao Qian then said, he was also pushed into the water by you. Are you still not satisfied? The Annie spoke up. Emissary, forgive my forwardness. The second master just said, he's going to tattle to old Madame Xiao. Miss Gio just entered the residence and has already caused trouble before meeting anyone. I'm afraid. Xiao Qian then said, it's fine. I will go with you to see grandmother. Mo Jiu then asked, is the Duke Xiao residence run by the old madam? The Annie was taken aback. This, Xiao Qian then said, after the old Duke passed away, my father's position was usurped. It's just that he was injured in battle in his early years and has been recuperating all year round. If there are no major matters in the residence, it's all decided by grandmother. Then he lightly tapped Mo Gio's head. If there's anything inconvenient to ask in the future, you can ask me directly. Let's go. But Mo Gio followed behind him. Wait for me, Xiao Lulang. Is that lecherous devil really your biological brother? Xiao Qian asked her back. Do I look like that debauched playboy? Mo Gio walked close to him. What do you mean? The Annie nervously pulled Mo Gio back. My dear young lady, this is the Xiao family, and you are the eldest son's wife. You should keep some distance from the sixth master, after all. Mo Gio replied, all right, I know, Annie Lan. What did Xiao Qian mean just now? What's the relationship between these Xiao brothers anyway? Auntie Lan whispered. How could you forget even this? Let me tell you again. My little ancestor, you must remember this well. The sixth master's father's name is Xiao Yunqing, the current head of the Xiao family, who usurped the title of Duke Xiao. Since the entire Xiao clan has not split the household, the two younger brothers of Duke Xiao also live here. Therefore, the ranking of the younger generation, like the sixth master, is the same. The one who harassed you just now is named Xiao Changyu. He is the son of Duke Zhao's second younger brother. The eldest son you are about to marry is named Xiao Changzi, who is the legitimate eldest son of Duke Xiao. Xiao Changzi only has one full brother, who is also the sixth master. But the sixth master is the son of a concubine, and because of a greatly inauspicious fate on the day he was born, the eldest son suddenly fell gravely ill. Therefore, the Duke had him raised outside. If it weren't for the sixth master's rapid advancement now, and the eldest son's illness showing no signs of improvement, I'm afraid it would have been difficult for him to return to his own home even now. Mo Gio finally understood. So that's how it is. Xiao Qian then said, it's not a secret. Why the need to whisper? I heard everything. Annie Lan gave a forced laugh. Forgive me, emissary, forgive me. But Mo Gio said innocently, I didn't expect the temperamental emissary Xiao to have such a background, but it's okay. She ran ahead and patted his head. There. Your sister-in-law will dote on you from now on. Then Mo Gio walked away, leaving Xiao Qian stunned. Xiao residence that evening. Xiao Changyu went to the old madam's place to cause a scene. Grandmother, you must stand up for me. That Mo Gio. She must be unwilling to marry my gravely ill eldest brother. So she pushed me into the water, wanted me to end up like eldest brother, grandmother. First Madam Tong spoke up. Can't you show some respect? Second Madam Yuan said. Second son is just speaking nonsense out of anger. Eldest sister-in-law, don't blame him, but this Miss Mo, causing such trouble before even entering the family. If she's not taught a lesson, she might cause a rebellion later. Old Madam Xiao then said, go and see. Miss Mo should have come to pay respects to the elders upon entering the residence. Why is she still not here? Suddenly Mo Gio and Xiao Qian walked in. Here I am. I'm right here. Old Madam Xiao stood up. Sixth son? The master said you went to the capital. When did you return? Why didn't you send word? Xiao Qian replied coldly. Just got back. And Mo Gio curtsied. Mo Gio pays her respects to the old madam. Old Madam Xiao said angrily, you wench, you pushed the second son into the water as soon as you entered the residence. What is the meaning of such insolent behavior? Mo Gio smiled. Of course, it was to do a good deed and accumulate virtue. You don't need to thank me for such a small matter, old madam. Old Madam Xiao was furious. What nonsense are you spouting? Xiao Changyu spoke up. Look, grandmother, she's talking nonsense. It's clear she has no respect for you. Mo, Gio replied. Stop trying to twist the truth here. Weren't you drunk and trying to take liberties with me? Which is why I push you into the pond to sober you up. I help you clear your head, to prevent you from causing a disaster. Shouldn't you all be thanking me? Third Madame Zhang spoke up. This as a young lady. How can you speak of such intimate matters so openly? Tongshi then knelt down. Second son is usually unruly, that's one thing, but now he dares to insult my son's betrothed. Mother, I respectfully ask Mother to seek justice. Old Madame Xiao struck her cane forcefully and shouted, All of you, shut up. Miss Mo, I ask you, you say the second master insulted you. Do you have proof? Mo Gio pointed at Xiao Qian. I do. Xiao Lu Lang is a witness. He saw it with his own eyes. Xiao Chanyu was furious. You bitch, you're lying. Xiao Qian quickly grabbed his hand. Grandmother, second brother, after drinking, intended to act improperly towards eldest sister-in-law. Your grandson saw it with his own eyes. Xiao Chanyu trembled with anger. You monster. Old Madame Xiao spoke up. Miss Mo is your elder sister-in-law. How dare you have such thoughts? Xiao Qian then pushed him to the ground. Yuan sure panicked. Calm your anger, mother. Second son was drunk. He must have mistaken the eldest daughter-in-law for Jingshu. That's why he acted so improperly. Xiao Changyu quickly explained. Yes, grandmother, it was too dark outside, and I was drunk, so I couldn't see clearly for a moment. Emojio spoke up. Old madam, now you know that every word Emojio says is the truth. Old Madame Xiao stammered this. I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. Emojio smiled. An answer? A promotion or expulsion from the residence, if it's still the same. Or perhaps send him to the palace to be a eunuch. That way he really won't have any improper thoughts about women. Old Madame Xiao slumped down, stammering, Yiyu, Emojio said. If none of those are possible, then you don't need to say anything about an answer. Just compensate me. Yuanshir supported the old madam. Mother, don't let anger harm your health. What do you want? Emojio then said. I traveled far to marry in a Chu prefecture. The journey was arduous, and I haven't had anything to eat or drink since entering the residence. 1. I want to eat. 2. I want to sleep. I invite the old madam to have someone prepare a lavish feast and send it to my quarters. Don't let anyone disturb me tonight. That would be for the best. The old madam nodded. Do as she says. Then Emojio turned to leave. In that case, it's already dark. Emojio won't disturb the old madam's rest any longer. I'll take my leave. Xiao Qian also left. Then your grandson will also take his leave. Once outside, Emojio followed behind Xiao Qian. Xi and Min reported to everyone. They're back. Anilon. Emissary Xiao has brought sister Emojio back. Then the door was opened. Xiao Qian asked, why have you all been arranged in such a remote place? Anilon explained, just now, when you and the young lady went to see the old madam, a matron from the residence brought us here, saying that the Xiao family is too large, and they couldn't find a place for us at the moment. They could only ask Miss Gio to bear with it. Xiao Qian ordered, I'll have someone change your quarters. But Emojio stopped him. Hey, no need. I like quiet and remote places. This is just right. Emojio tugged at his sleeve. Xiao Qian asked, what are you plotting now? Emojio looked guilty. Is it that obvious? Xiao Qian demanded. Let's hear it. Emojio put a chicken on her head. Then did you hear the rooster crowing next door? I'm saying it's convenient for me to steal the neighbor's chickens for nourishment. Do you believe me? Xiao Qian stepped closer and sneered. Sister-in-law is truly heartless. I just helped you out of a jam, and you won't even speak a single truthful word. Emojio looked away guiltily. No, it's not that. Xiao Qian, do you feel that you, compared to before, seem a little different? Xiao Qian was surprised. Different how? Emojio reached out to touch his chin. It's the way you talk. I feel that since meeting you this time, the number of times you've spoken like a human has increased significantly. And also, Andy, Minner, you two go back to your room first. I have a few words to say to Emissary Xiao in private. The Andy was conflicted. How can we do that? It's already dark. The emissary and you, an unmarried man and woman. Xiao Qian then said, I am not Xiao Changyu. I won't do anything to my sister-in-law. The auntie had to agree. Very well then. Then Xiao Qian said softly, Speak. Emojio asked him, Xiao Qian, the patterns on your neck from the goo insect bite, are they still there now? Xiao Qian grunted in affirmation. Then Emojio moved closer and pulled open his collar. Let me see. But Xiao Qian grabbed her hand. What are you doing? Emojio stammered. That, don't misunderstand. I have no intention of doing anything improper. Xiao Qian continued. So, Emojio continued. I didn't get a clear look that day. So now I want to confirm the pattern on your neck. Is it exactly the same as the one on mine? Xiao Qian asked. What if it is? What if it isn't? Emojio touched her neck. If it's the same, I want to ask you, have you been dreaming frequently lately? Xiao Qian was surprised. Dreaming? Dreaming of what? Emojio stammered. Dreaming of me. Xiao Qian replied. There is a distinction between brother-in-law and sister-in-law. How could I dream of you? Emojio explained. Ever since I was bitten on the neck by the goo insect, I keep dreaming of you. This is really strange, so I had to ask you. Xiao Qian smiled. It's not strange. Sister-in-law's long illness has driven you mad. It must be that you think of it by day, your wishes unfulfilled, your soul restless, so you dream of it at night. Late at night, in the bedroom. Emojio was angry. That bastard Xiao Qian. Instead of hoping to get any useful information out of him, I'd be better off relying on myself. It started to rain outside. A night rain in the residence. Emojio opened the door. The heavens are truly helping me. Emojio held an umbrella. The people of the Xiao residence are all tight-lipped about the eldest son Xiao. They won't let me see him before the wedding. This marriage has been strange from start to finish. What is Xiao Changzi's real condition? Is he alive or dead? I have to see for myself, so I can prepare. Emojio then went to the South Mountain courtyard. I had Minner ask about the eldest son's residence earlier. This is it. Emojio pushed open the door. Xuefeng? Xuefeng stood at the door, smiling. Miss Jio, you've come as expected. Please come in. Then Emojio followed Xuefeng inside. You know I would come? Xuefeng then said. It was my emissary's instruction. He guessed that you would come looking for the eldest young master tonight, and said that instead of letting you wander around and make a commotion, it would be better for me to welcome you directly. Miss Jio, the eldest young master is inside. Please enter. Emojio closed her umbrella and entered the room. Inside were layers of thick curtains, along with the sound of a sickly cough. Emojio spoke up and asked, You are the eldest son, Xiao? Xiao Changzi spoke. I am. You've come? Emojio tilted her head and lifted the curtain. You're still alive? I thought. Xiao Changzi asked. You thought I was dead? Emojio asked again. How much longer can you live? Xiao Changzi replied. Six brothers said I can live for a very long time. Are you very disappointed? Emojio tightened her grip on the curtain. If you're not going to die anytime soon, then there's no need to use the celestial fruit to cure your illness. In that case, could you please tell your family that a forced union will not be sweet? We are not fated to be. I don't want to marry you. Xiao Changzi, sitting in a wheelchair, replied, I know, but you must marry me. Emojio was furious. You. Suddenly someone interrupted. Sister-in-law. Xiao Qian appeared and said, You should go back. Emojio was shocked. Xiao Lulang, I'm visiting my husband. What right do you have to stop me? Xiao Qian explained. Eldest brother's illness cannot withstand the wind, much less the cold. Letting you meet before the wedding is already an exception. Emojio asked, Then why are you here? Xiao Qian replied, I am the doctor. Xiao Changzi suddenly coughed a few times and said, Sixth brother, I'm tired. I'm going to rest first. The grand wedding is approaching. You shouldn't come anymore, young lady. But Emojio was adamant. I will definitely come. You'd better rest well. If you don't die, then let your family know. Don't ruin my whole life. Xiao Changzi smiled, this girl. And Xiao Qian, standing outside, said, sharp-tongued. Emojio replied, resourceful and cunning. She glared at him. Move, don't block my way. Suddenly, Emojio accidentally stepped on a curtain on the floor and slipped. She reached out her hand. Xiao Qian. Xiao Qian used his body to shield her, preventing her from being crushed by a falling pillar. Emojio cried out, Xiao Qian, do you know how heavy you are? Xiao Qian helped Emojio up. She frowned. It hurts. Xiao Qian, holding the pillar with one hand, asked, Did you get hit? Emojio immediately said, It's nothing compared to you. Xiao Qian was stunned for a moment, then took Emojio's hand. Come here. Let me see the wound. Emojio asked him, You were hit harder than I was. How about you let me see your wound first? Xiao Qian was surprised. You know medicine? Emojio stammered. Then Xiao Qian carried Emojio to the bed. Lie down. Emojio was flustered. This position, is it appropriate? Xiao Qian took out a bottle of medicine. I am a physician. Applying my specially made ointment will help it heal quickly. Emojio then pulled down the shirt on her shoulder. She rested her chin on her hand to let Xiao Qian apply the medicine. But we are, after all, an unmarried man and woman alone. Won't your older brother misunderstand us? Xiao Qian said, my older brother is not an unreasonable person. Besides, our hearts are pure. What is there to worry about? Then he looked at her with an evasive gaze. It's just that. Sister-in-law will have to endure it a little. Mo Jio was surprised. What do I have to endure? Then came a blood-curdling scream. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. Xiao Qian, you're not doing this on purpose to mess with me, are you? Xiao Qian turned his face away. I told you before. The bruise won't dissipate. It must be massaged with medicine to break it up. Mo Jio immediately grabbed his hand. No more. Don't touch me. I'll do it myself. Let me do it myself. Xiao Qian was surprised. Can you reach it yourself? Just bear with it for a moment. Once the bruise is broken up, it will be fine. You could do something else to distract yourself. Mo Jio was held down, muttering to herself. In this state, what else can I do? Xiao Qian asked. What? Nothing. That was close. I almost said something I shouldn't have. Then she changed the subject. So, how's my lover? Hearing this, the pressure from Xiao Qian's hand increased. Mo Jio cried out. It hurts, Sixth Master Xiao. Xiao Qian sighed. Speak properly. Who do you want to ask about? Mo Jio immediately said. Mo Wang. How is he? Xiao Qian said faintly. He's fine. Mo Jio was surprised. He's fine. So what about the princess and the others involved? The princess is fine now. Xiao Zhanping left a confession letter in prison, stating that the death of Xie Bingsheng, the poisoning of the princess, and the incident at the water pavilion were all his doing alone. Then he committed suicide. Therefore, the matter of the Xie family colluding with him, as well as the Mo family members involved in the case, the emperor did not pursue further. As for the crimes of Xie Bingsheng during his lifetime, the evidence was conclusive, but the Xie family had already confessed at the execution ground. So although the emperor did not shield the Xie family, he did not pursue the matter. He only gave a light punishment. After hearing this, Mo Jio said, this is clearly favoritism towards the Xie family. On the way to Chu Prefecture, I heard many things, this emperor of yours. It seems he doesn't want to break the balance between your Xiao and Xie families. It's just that Prime Minister Xie. After all, his only son is gone. He certainly won't let it go easily. Xiao Qian interrupted. This matter doesn't concern you. You don't need to know. Mo Jio then asked, then what about the goo poison in both of us? Do you have any clues? Xiao Qian sighed. Not for the time being. All right, how are you feeling now? Does it still hurt? Mo Jio had a look of content and comfort. It doesn't hurt anymore. On the contrary, you've warmed it up by rubbing it. It feels much better. Last question. Do you know where Mo Wang is now? Xiao Qian pulled Mo Jio's shirt up for her, then wiped his hands and said, still haven't given up? Mo Jio, still lying on the bed, scratched an itch. Sixth Master Xiao, we've known each other for so long, we could be considered half friends. How can you have the heart to let me be locked in this courtyard for my whole life? To grow old alone? Hearing this, Xiao Qian was taken aback. The night was late. Mo Jio was fast asleep. Xiao Qian pulled the blanket over her, then went outside and ordered Xue Fong, pass down the order. Just say the young madam is asleep and will be sleeping in the South Mountain courtyard tonight. Xue Fong replied, yes. Xiao Qian was surprised. Wait, why is your face so red? Xue Fong stammered. Envoy, just now Miss Jio, that sound was really too loud. Xiao Qian interrupted. Xue Fong panicked. No. Envoy, please calm your anger. Your subordinate didn't mean that. Your subordinate has overstepped. I'll go pass on the message right now. I'll go right now. Then Xue Fong ran off. Xiao Qian sighed, looking through the window at Mo Jiu sleeping soundly in the room. He thought to himself, she can sleep anywhere, after all. The next morning, an order was passed down in the residence. By order of the old madam, from today, Miss Jio is to be confined to her courtyard. Before the wedding ceremony, she is not to take a single step out of her room. Several maids outside were gossiping. I heard that last night, that Miss Jio slept in the eldest young master's courtyard. They haven't even had the ceremony yet. How could she be so shameless? Exactly. Otherwise, why would the old madam be so angry? Then they closed the door. Mo Jio sat outside, looking at the wound on her shoulder. Sixth Master Zhao's medicine is really effective. After just one night, the wound shows no signs of redness or swelling. Annie Lan ran over and asked, young lady, how are you still in the mood to look in the mirror? The old madam has had you confined. She even had the door locked. You've offended your husband's grandmother before even getting married. What we do now now. Annie Lon was worried to tears, but Gio said calmly, "The door is locked. Others can't get in. We can't get out either. Isn't that great?" Annie Lon was surprised. "Young lady, could it be that you want to escape again? So that's why you told Minner to move the table and chairs out to the courtyard just now. Was it to climb the wall?" Gio continued. "Doing the opposite is the best strategy. I've observed the neighbor's house has been almost empty these past few days." With one leap, Gio was sitting on top of the wall. Climbing over the wall leads to a vast world. On the way to Chu Prefecture, I managed to get it out of Shui Fong. He said Chu Prefecture's waterways are well developed, which is why we took a boat trip. "So, do you want to go or stay?" Minner immediately said, "Wherever sister goes, Minner will go." Annie Lon had a headache. "Heavens, if you leave, will we have any way to survive if we stay here?" Gio smiled. "Then come with me." An hour later, at Zhaozhai Wharf, Gio stood on a small boat, thinking to herself, "I didn't realize the scenery here was so beautiful when we traveled by land." She took out her compass. The needle is spinning? A compass can be sensitive to the surrounding energy fields. If the needle keeps spinning without pointing in one direction, it means there is resentful energy here, an inauspicious energy field. There are small boats all around. This wharf is bustling with people. Why would there be such strong, resentful energy? "Minner, go ask the boatman what this place is." Suddenly, a voice rang out. "It's Zhaozhai Wharf." Xiao Qian appeared, his hand on Gio's shoulder, making her frown. "Xiao Qian, why are you here?" Xiao Qian replied, "This is my boat." Gio stared at him blankly. Xiao Qian asked her, "There are so many boats at the Chu Prefecture wharf, yet sister-in-law deliberately chose this one. I find it strange too." Gio felt guilty. "It's more like whichever boat I boarded, you secretly bought it. You can think that way if you wish, sister-in-law." Gio was angry, "But my courtyard gate was locked. How did you know I wasn't in the residence?" Xiao Qian lightly tapped her head. "Who was it that was sizing up those walls as soon as she entered the courtyard yesterday?" Xiao Qian lifted Gio's chin and asked, losing time and time again, "Still want to run?" Gio pushed his hand away. "Who said this lady wants to run?" She muttered, "I heard the scenery of Chu Prefecture is extremely beautiful. Can I come to see the sights?" 15 minutes later, at the wharf, an old boatman furtively threw something into the river. Gio was astonished. That person on the shore, no wonder the compass was spinning wildly just now. Could there be an ancient tomb here? And I've run into the ancestor of tomb raiders? The old man, holding a jar, was leaving when he bumped into someone. "Watch where you're going." Gio saw the statue in the jar and was stunned. "Wait, what is that?" Lost in thought, she missed a step. Xiao Qian quickly stepped forward and caught her in his arms. "What are you doing?" Gio asked him. "Sixth Master Xiao, that person on the shore. Did you see him? That thin, small person." Xiao Qian replied, "I saw him. What's wrong?" Gio said, "I feel like there's something not right about him. Quickly have someone bring the boat to shore. I want to follow him and see." But Xiao Qian said, "The boat has to be anchored, even if we dock immediately. By the time we stop, he'll be long gone." Gio was stunned, but the thing in his hand is very important. "I can't say for sure. It was too far, and I only caught a glimpse." She didn't see it clearly, but she still felt it was an incredibly precious object, and it looked extremely strange in that person's hand. Xiao Qian sighed, holding her hand tightly. "Don't move." Gio was stunned. Xiao Qian put his arm around her waist, and "Don't shout nonsense." With that, he held her and flew up. Gio stared blankly at his face. Xiao Qian brought her to a rooftop. If sister-in-law doesn't come to her senses, that person is about to get away. Gio was a little flustered. Xiao Qian asked, "Do you need me to catch him for you, sister-in-law?" Gio finally snapped out of it. "No. He must have a place to sell his goods. I have to follow him and see. It's just Minner and Annie Lon on the boat." She called towards the boat. "Sister, we'll wait for you on the boat. Our Minner and Annie Lon are still on the boat. I'm afraid they'll get off and won't be able to find us." "Can you?" Xiao Qian said. "Aren't they calling out that they'll wait for you on the boat?" "I'm not deaf yet." Gio thought to herself, "This man is really hard to fool." "Then you?" Xiao Qian then asked, "Could it be that sister-in-law intends to use me and then toss me aside to burn the bridge after crossing it?" Gio felt a little guilty for a moment. "What is Sixth Master saying? I didn't mean that." After speaking, she crossed her arms and walked forward. For every trick, there's a counter trick. She didn't believe she couldn't shake him off. The old man looked around, then entered the treasure pavilion. Xiao Qian also followed. Mo Jio said, the very precious thing you mentioned is probably about to be sold by him. Mo Jio thought for a moment, then snatched his jade pendant. Let me borrow this for a moment. You wait for me outside. Xiao Qian held her hand, a displeased look on his face. Mo Jio said with a smile, look at your aura and your clothes. You walk into a shop looking like you're about to confiscate their property. Who would dare to sell anything? You wait here for me. I'll go in and check the situation and be right out. Xiao Qian had to let go. I'll be right outside. If there's trouble, just call out. Mo Jio replied with a smile, don't worry. Inside the shop, the old man took out that Buddha statue. The shopkeeper said, it's a good item. The old man spoke up and asked, name your price. How much can be sold for? The shopkeeper suddenly asked, who's outside? Mo Jio walked in. Shopkeeper, I'm here to sell goods. The shopkeeper was surprised. What goods? Mo Jio threw the jade pendant on the table. This jade pendant. Oh, the carving on this jade pendant is quite good. It must be several hundred years old, right? Mo Jio fiddled with the jade pendant. Stolen from an ancient tomb? The old man beside her gritted his teeth in fear, while the old man said, nonsense, without evidence. How can you, a young girl, slander my good name? Mo Jio questioned, good name? The mud on your feet is not ordinary mud. It's slippery and sticky and has a faint green color. And this jade pendant in the shape of a young girl also has a similar faint green color. It's clearly taken from an ancient tomb. What you do, 1, it damages your karmic virtue. 2, it shortens your life. 3, it violates the king's law. Do you believe I'll report you to the authorities and have you arrested? The old man immediately tried to flee. Don't you dare make false accusations. A few days ago, there was heavy rain. The water at Zhaojiao Wharf rose, and the flood collapsed the foundation. I picked up this jade pendant from the rubble of my house. I heard the shop never asks about origins, only looks at the item, so I came here to ask. The shopkeeper spoke up. All right, I'll take this item. I'll give you 200 taels. I won't shortchange you. You can go. After the old man left, the shopkeeper picked up Mo Jio's jade pendant. Young lady wants to sell this jade pendant. How much silver do you want for it? Mo Jio smiled, resting her chin on her hand, and said, I don't need silver. I only asked for a place to stay. I wonder if the elder would agree. She thought to herself, Mo Linger once said that a jade pendant carved with the can trigram is the token of the Kinsek's elder of the Mo family. I hope I wasn't mistaken. The shopkeeper was astonished. How did you know this is a branch of the Mo family? Mo Jio thought to herself, I guessed right. She then smiled and said, the court's laws are strict. Ordinary shops wouldn't dare to accept items from ancient tombs. Moreover, a jade ring carved with the can trigram. The owner must be surnamed Mo. I am Shun Shermo. May I ask what business the young lady has? Mo Jio replied, I'm looking for Mo Wang. She took out her compass. Shun Shermo took the compass and said, this compass is indeed an item of the Mo family, but as for the whereabouts of the left steward, I do not know at present. Mo Jio continued, there's always a way to contact him. My name is Mo Jio. Elder Shun, just tell him my name, he will understand. As for the rest, I won't trouble the elder to say more. Shun Shermo thought for a moment and replied, if that's the case, in 3 days, come find me at the Shirgu Pavilion in Chu Prefecture City. Mo Jio smiled and said, thank you, elder. Do you have a back door? Shun Shermo was surprised. What do you want to do? Afterwards, Mo Jio left through the back door, avoiding a certain someone. Mo Jio triumphantly bit into an apple. Sixth Master Xiao, I refuse to believe I can't shake you off. You. Suddenly a group of people ran past. Is that Second Master Xiao again? No, a group of men surrounding a young maid. How improper. Mo Jio was startled. What? This is bad. A group of men holding clubs shouted, you wretched girl, speak up. Where is the young madam? Annie Lon was tied up and kneeling on the ground, pleading, please stop hitting her. You'll kill her. Minna was already unconscious on the ground. Several of the men said, the life of a lowly maid, what does it matter if one dies? Xiao Changyu, holding a wine jug, said, stop hiding it. If you just tell me, you won't have to suffer, right? If you still don't talk, believe it or not, I, your second master, will skin you alive. Minna struggled to prop herself up when suddenly a half-eaten apple flew over, hitting Xiao Changyu on the head. Who dares to throw something at your second master? Don't you want to live anymore? Mo Jio walked over and spoke. Second Master Xiao is so capable, leading a group of men to bully a young maid and an old woman. How impressive. Xiao Changyu said, sister-in-law has finally decided to show herself. Mo Jio walked over. Weren't you looking for me? Let them go. Annie Lan spoke up. Young lady, I'm sorry. We should have waited for you on the boat. We've implicated you this time. Xiao Changyu, drunk, laughed and grabbed Minner's hair. Minner spoke unclearly. Sister, go quickly. Don't worry about Minner. Xiao Changyu said to her, Sister-in-law, come back with me. I'll naturally let them go. Not only will I let them go, Xiao Changyu moved closer, stroking Mo Jio's hair. I'll even put in a few good words for you with grandmother. I'll just say it was this maid who instigated you, and you only ran away from the residence because you were momentarily bewitched. That way, you won't have to worry about being punished. Mo Jio replied. Then Mo Jio must thank Second Master. She moved closer to them, then helped Minner up. It's just that when I do things, I've always liked to reciprocate. If you're good to me, I will naturally repay you. Xiao Changyu sneered. How does sister-in-law want to repay me? How about tonight? You have some fun with your little brother-in-law. Why wait until tonight? She snatched the club from the servant next to her. I don't like to delay either. I always take my revenge on the spot. Mo Jio swung the club towards Xiao Changyu. The subordinate was horrified. Second Master. Xiao Changyu gritted his teeth in anger. You bitch. You dare to hit me. His anger flared. Mo Jio smiled and said, You beat my mate into this state, and I only hit you once. By that count, I'm still at a loss. Xiao Changyu was furious. Good. Men, tie this wretched girl up for me. A woman who doesn't know her place won't know how to serve her husband. Today, your second master will teach you what the 3 obediences and 4 virtues are. Mo Jio laughed coldly. Xiao Changyu, do you know whose person I am? Xiao Changyu laughed. Scared now, are you? Too late. Even if my older brother were here, he couldn't save you. He reached out and grabbed Mo Jio's neck. Mo Jio said, Not quite. Actually, I'm the 6th master's person. The air immediately fell silent. Xiao Changyu was stunned, then burst out laughing. If you had said you were someone else's, I might have believed you. But to say you're the 6th master's, even if you were as beautiful as a fairy, he wouldn't spare you a single glance. Mo Jio said, You don't believe me. Then I'll prove it to you. She thought to herself, if I had known I'd run into this scoundrel Xiao Changyu, I wouldn't have snuck out the back door to avoid Xiao Qian. I don't know if he can hear me from this far away, but his martial arts are so high, his hearing must be good too. She took a deep breath. Xiao Changyu laughed coldly. Weren't you going to prove it to me, sister-in-law? What are you waiting for? Mo Jio shouted, Xiao Qian. But looking out at the street, there was not a soul in sight. Xiao Changyu laughed loudly. Sister-in-law, is that all you've got? He put his arm around her shoulder. You'd better come with your second master. Mo Jio shouted, Get off. Meanwhile, Xiao Qian was flying across the rooftops, his sword already drawn. Xiao Changyu was surprised. Huh? Xiao Qian appeared. His sword pointed at Xiao Changyu, who was immediately terrified. Xiao Qian spoke. The way second brother treats our sister-in-law has truly been an eye-opener for your younger brother. Xiao Qian's sword was pointed straight at Xiao Changyu's chest. He stammered, Sixth brother. Impossible, why are you here? Xiao Qian replied, That's the question I should be asking you, second brother. Didn't grandmother forbid you from drinking? Why did you run to this den of pleasure? Xiao Changyu pointed at him. Aren't you here too, sixth brother? Xiao Qian replied, I was entrusted by our older brother to protect sister-in-law. Naturally, wherever sister-in-law is, I am there. Xiao Changyu held his head with one hand. Fine. You two certainly have a deep bond between brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Sixth brother, you're impressive. Since you protect her like this, I can't touch her. But it's a fact that she left the residence without permission. I must take her back to the residence and let grandmother decide. Mo Jio, standing behind Xiao Qian, said, I always thought running to your mother for every little thing was pathetic enough, but I never expected second master to run to his grandmother all the time. It's truly been an eye-opener for Mo Jio. Xiao Qian lightly tapped Mo Jio's face with his fan. I don't trust our older brother's character, so there's no need to trouble you. I will take sister-in-law back to the residence myself. Xiao Changyu gritted his teeth. You people. The onlookers around them whispered. Even his own family doesn't trust second young Master Zhao's character. That's right, bullying a young girl in broad daylight, harassing his future sister-in-law. What good can he be? Hearing this, Xiao Changyu became furious. All of you, shut up. Who the hell do you think you are to comment on your second master? The subordinate behind him pulled him back. Second master, calm down. First, let's find a pharmacy to have a physician bandage the wound on your head. As for that MO woman, sixth master isn't always in the residence. It'll be easy for you to find a chance to deal with her. As he left, Xiao Changyu turned his head to look at them, thinking to himself, this isn't over. You just wait. Xiao Qian sighed, then took them back to the residence. As they walked, Mo asked Anilon, "Why did you all get off the boat? It's very dangerous here. Was there a reason?" Anilon said, "I'm sorry, young lady. Not long after you left, we saw the second young master leading his servants, searching everywhere for you. He must have discovered that you had left the residence, seeing Minner's haggard appearance. Unfortunately, they were heading in the direction you left. We guess you must have a way to get away from the envoy, but we were worried about you being alone. If you ran into the second young master, we were afraid something would happen." Mo's heart warmed. "You all guessed right." Anilon had a guilty expression. "We originally intended to sneak off the boat to meet up with you. At least we could help lure them away. Who would have thought the second young master's methods would be so vicious? To grab Minner in the middle of the street and beat her for information. In the end, we still implicated you, young lady." Mo said, "So it was because of me after all. Auntie Minner, I made you all suffer." Xiao Qian then checked Minner's pulse. "No damage to the internal organs. It should be nothing serious. You should help her back to the boat first. I know Dr. Yin of Jixing Hall in Chu Prefecture City. After we get back, Xuefeng will arrange for you to go there to recuperate." Annie said respectfully, "Thank you, envoy." Xiao Qian then looked at Mo. "As for you, Xiao Changyu has ill intentions towards you." He used his handkerchief to wipe the dirt from Mo's face. "Stay away from him from now on." Mo was stunned, thinking to herself, "Have I been bewitched? Otherwise, why do I find him more and more pleasing to the eye?" Xiao Qian asked again, "Also, how many times has this been for you, sister-in-law?" Mo was stunned. "What?" Xiao Qian questioned. "When there's no trouble, all you think about is running away. The moment something happens, you remember that there's someone called me." Mo raised her hand. "Heaven is my witness. This time I really wasn't planning to run." The shopkeeper of that antique shop said that Zhaojiao Wharf had heavy rains these past few days, causing the foundations to collapse, and many people have recently dug up treasures. The compass needle was spinning. Ancient artifacts were appearing. I guess there might be a large tomb under Zhaojiao Wharf. I wanted to find someone to ask about it, but I was afraid you wouldn't allow it. So I snuck away." Xiao Qian replied, "Sister-in-law is right. It is not allowed." He pulled her along. Mo cried out, "Xiao Qian, let go of me. What kind of behavior is this, pulling and dragging me around?" In the boat cabin, Xiao Qian questioned, "Now you know about proper behavior? When you were shouting my name in the middle of the street, you didn't think about how a brother-in-law and sister-in-law should avoid suspicion. What were you thinking then?" Mo replied, "I looked left and right and saw a madman. Everyone knows I have a problem with my head. What suspicion is there to avoid?" Xiao Qian said, "Sister-in-law misunderstands. What I care about is not your reputation, but mine." Mo sneered, "Then that's really unfortunate. In a little while, your second brother is going to tell your old grand matriarch that you and I are having an affair." Xiao Qian turned his face away. "I will explain to Xiao Changyu and grandmother. You don't need to worry about this matter. You just need to settle down where you're staying." Mo suddenly pulled on his sleeve. "Wait, why are you so good to me?" Xiao Qian replied, "It was my elder brother who repeatedly instructed me." Mo was stunned. "Oh, the boat still has a while to go. Sister-in-law can rest in the cabin." On the drifting boat, the melodious sound of Xiao Qian's flute echoed. Mo sat drinking tea in the cabin. "This flute music is so melodious and elegant. Is that Xiao Qian? He understands music." Mo stepped out and called, "Sixth Master Xiao." Xiao Qian turned his head. Mo stared at him foolishly. Xiao Qian tapped her on the head. "What are you looking at? Are you stupid?" Mo rubbed her head. Ouch. She thought to herself, such a celestial appearance paired with a straight-laced guy. What a waste. Xiao Qian took out a bottle of medicine. "Stop glaring. Go back and rest well. In a few days, it will be the day you and my older brother perform the wedding ceremony. I've had the confinement order lifted for you, so don't go out and cause any more trouble. These few days, the residence is full of guests coming and going, and things are busy. I don't have time to watch over you." Mo took it with both hands. "Calming incense? How did you know I haven't been sleeping well these past few days?" Xiao Qian said, "The bags under your eyes are about to drop to the tops of your feet." Mo felt as if she'd been hit by a rock. "Sixth Master, is your hidden trait destined to be alone forever?" Destined to be alone forever means fated to be lonely for life. Xiao Qian was surprised. What is destined to be alone forever? Mo turned and walked away. The envoy is so intelligent. Think for yourself. Xiao Qian sighed. The Xiao Manor. Xiao Qian returned to the manor. where Xiao Yunqing shouted sternly. The second young master disrespected his eldest sister-in-law. His behavior was improper. Guards, take the second young master to the ancestral hall and punish him according to the family rules. Xiao Chengyu denied it. I didn't. That brat was spouting nonsense. But as he was dragged away, he still muttered, "Despicable, despicable." He glared at Xiao Qian. "You dare use father to pressure me." Inside, "Old madam," Xiao said to her son, "you're the head of a family now, and your son's authority has grown. I am old and can't manage much anymore. I'm going to rest." Xiao Yunqing immediately said, respectfully seeing mother off. Xiao Qian bowed. "Father." "First, madam." Seeing him, Xiao Yunqing spoke. "Sixth son, you're back? Have a seat. I heard that Xie is about to arrive in Jianzhou." Xie is the father of Prime Minister Xie Pengsheng. Jianzhou has had heavy rains these past few days, causing disastrous floods. Prime Minister Xie has been ordered by the court to come here for flood control. You have also been ordered by the court to assist. Although Xie Qian's son ultimately died at the hands of the Mo family, you were involved after all. No matter how cleanly you acted, it's hard to avoid leaving traces. This time, the court's sending him to Jianzhou and ordering you to assist. I'm afraid the intention is to lure the tiger away from mountain. When you work with him, it's best to be careful. Xiao Qian replied, "Yes. There's one more thing." Xiao Yunqing looked weary. The matter of moving to linen that we discussed before must also be expedited. Jianzhou is now on the border between the states of Rong and Jin. There's no telling when war might break out. Although moving is no small matter, for the sake of long-term plans, we must take this step. Lady Tong came forward to rub his head. Our family has fields and properties over in Linen Prefecture, so moving there will be convenient. Besides, you and your elder brother are officials in the court. It's still more convenient to be in linen. Xiao Yunqing continued, "My wife is right. We will start preparing after the eldest son's wedding is over." Xiao Qian put down his teacup, preparing to leave. "Sixth son, don't go yet. Speaking of weddings, you are over 20 this year. It's time to consider your marriage. If the girls of Jinzhou don't catch your eye, then after we move to linen, let your mother choose a good match for you." Lady Tong said with a smile, "Our sixth son is both talented and handsome. As soon as word gets out, won't the matchmakers were down our doorstep? My lord, rest assured, leave this matter to me." Xiao Qian looked displeased. "The first madam should worry more about my eldest brother's wedding." He turned around. "Sixth son's affairs are no trouble for others to worry about." Lady Tong asked Xiao Yunqing, this child, have I not treated him well enough over the years?" Xiao Yunqing sighed. "It's not your fault." Xiao Qian heard these words and left sadly. That night, Mo Jio crawled out from the bushes. The people in the Xiao manor said, "Xiao Qian lives here, cold and desolate, just like his own temperament." She went forward and knocked on the door. "Xiao Qian, sixth son Xiao." "Huh, the door is unlocked. Is no one here?" There was no answer. He just said he was going to deal with Xiao Chengyu. Has he not returned yet? The wedding date is approaching. The escape cannot be delayed any longer. Once the guests arrive, the security at the Xiao manor will become even stricter. To successfully get to the meeting point in 3 days and meet the Mo family elder at Shiruzhai, besides tricking Xiao Qian into taking me out of the manor, I can't find anyone else. Elsewhere, Xue Feng is waiting for Xiao Qian to release flower lanterns. Mo Jio saw Xue Feng waiting for Xiao Qian to release flower lanterns. Wait, is that Xiao Qian? A living king of hell, like him, is releasing lanterns? Xiao Qian stood up and said, "I helped lift your confinement, not so you could come stroll in my courtyard in the middle of the night." Mo Jio approached him. "I came because I have something to discuss with you. But I didn't expect that the great commissioner of the Bureau of Military Affairs would actually like this sort of thing." Xiao Qian replied, "There is nothing to discuss." Mo Jio picked up the lantern in her hand, preparing to release it. "But I haven't even said what it is. No matter what it is, I won't help." Mo Jio said angrily, "You." Xue Feng quickly stopped her. "Miss Jio, don't take it to heart. The envoy isn't intentionally being cold to you. The Ghost Festival is approaching. The envoy is releasing flower lanterns to commemorate his late mother. According to the customs of Yueshua Prefecture, most men release paper cranes to pay respects to the deceased. It's just that our envoy doesn't know how to fold them. So he's releasing lanterns instead." Mo Jio said with a smile. "So it turns out the legendary, all-powerful envoy Xiao also has something he doesn't know how to do." Xiao Qian blushed and said, "Still teasing me? Believe it or not, I'll throw you into the lake." Mo Jio sneered. "Throw me in the water? Who will fold paper cranes for you?" Xiao Qian immediately asked. You know how? Mo Gio said smugly. I can even build a wooden kite that flies in the sky. How could a tiny paper crane possibly be a challenge for me? She lifted his chin. Be good, don't rush. Big sister will fold them for you. My paper folding skills are excellent. If your mother's spirit in heaven sees this, she will surely be very happy. Afterwards, under the bright moonlight, Mo Gio and Xiao Qian sat together folding paper cranes. How is it? My skills aren't bad, right? Xiao Qian picked up a paper crane and said, thank you. Then Mo Gio scooped up a pile of paper cranes with her skirt. Come on. Xiao Qian shook his head. You, a young lady? What's this sudden madness? Can you just lift your skirt like that? Mo Gio asked. Isn't it to help you hold the paper cranes? It's just the outer skirt. What's the big deal? She looked straight into his eyes and asked, Xiao Qian, you're not getting shy, are you? Xiao Qian was a little flustered. Then he took out the handkerchief he carried with him. It's just to hold a few paper cranes. There's no need for you to make such a big fuss. Mo Gio was surprised. 6 Sun Xiao, just how many handkerchiefs do you carry on you? A grown man is being too fussy. As a young lady, how can you be so crude? Mo Gio gave a half smile, saying angrily, Xiao Qian. Then he wrapped up the paper cranes. Follow me. At the riverbank, Xiao Qian released them one by one. This is also to let your mother know that this is your contribution. Mo Gio was stunned. Madam, if your spirit is in heaven, you don't need to worry about protecting Xiao Qian. He's living very well. You don't need to worry about anything. Just be happy. After speaking, Mo Gio clasped her hands in prayer. Xiao Qian said, this eulogy of yours is quite novel. Mo Gio sat closer to him, resting her chin on her hand, and said, but it's true. Think about it. Your mother gave birth to you, raised you, and took care of you until you grew up. That was hard enough. Now that she's been gone for so many years, during every festival and memorial, you want her to rest in peace, but you also want her to bless you. Being pulled in 2 directions like that, who could stand it? Xiao Qian replied, I don't ask my mother for these things. Mo Gio was surprised. Huh? Then what did you say to the madam? Xiao Qian stood up. I can't say. Mo Gio was displeased. Humph. If you won't say, then don't. Let's talk about something else. 6 Sun Xiao, I've helped you. It's only fair that you help me with something, right? Xiao Qian asked, what is it? Mo Gio looked troubled. Minna is seriously injured. In a few days, I want to go to Jishir Hall to visit her. Xiao Qian refused. No, you going to see her won't help her injuries. Mo Gio immediately said, it's not the same. She's my friend. She treats me very well. I, Mo Gio, will not let her down. I will treat her even better. I care about her, so naturally I have to go check on her condition. If Minna sees me, she will be very happy too. Xiao Qian turned to leave. Then have Xue Feng escort you. Otherwise, you can't go. Mo Gio questioned, is it an escort or a guard? Xiao Qian replied, what do you think? He tapped her on the head. Haven't you run enough? I'm already tired of catching you. Mo Gio mumbled, I don't want to run. Then what's wrong with having Xue Feng go with you? Mo Gio thought to herself, of course it's not okay. With your man following me, how can I go meet the Mo family elder? She immediately changed her tune. I'm not going then. Farewell. 3 days later, the manor was busy preparing for the wedding. The maids were sweeping and washing. Hurry up, we need to be sharp. Don't keep the distinguished guests waiting. The young prince and Princess Xian are coming to the manor today. With everyone in the manor busy, Mo Gio thought to herself, Xiao Qian really has a lot of face. Even a prince and a princess are personally coming to congratulate his elder brother on his marriage. However, the higher his status, the more convenient it is for me to act. As long as I want to, there's always a way to get out. First, I'll visit Minna. Then go to the place I arranged to meet Elder Shun. You think you can keep me locked up just by not letting me go? Too naive. Chuzhou City, Mo Gio was disguised as a man. Shuguzhai, the place I arranged to meet the Mo family elder. This is it. Mo Gio took out a compass, then stepped inside. Shun Shermo, who was playing chess, was surprised. You are? Mo Gio bowed. Old Shun, I am Mo Gio. Shun Shermo then realized, oh, so it's the little friend. Let me introduce you. This is Old Kong, Kong Yinyang. Mo Gio thought to herself, Kong Yinyang, why does that name sound so familiar? Kong Yinyang stroked his beard and smiled. This old man is blind. Little friend, please don't laugh. Mo Gio quickly replied, not at all, not at all. It's just that I have something to discuss privately with shopkeeper Shun. I wonder if it's convenient for you, old sir. Kong Yinyang laughed. Haha, of course. After speaking, he left. Mo Gio looked at his retreating back and thought, Kong Yinyang, I I remember now. Isn't he the fortune teller Aunt Lon told me about? The one who read the Shao family's 8 characters and said, I have the fate of a lone star. A perfect match for the eldest son? She was about to call out, wait. Shun Shermo spoke up. Miss Gio disguised as a man has a heroic and dashing air. Emo Gio thought to herself, never mind. An old man who's both blind and strange, telling fortunes outside, is just to make a living. Why should I bother with him? Elder, is there any news from the left steward? Shun Shermo handed over a letter. This old man just received a letter from the left steward today. He arrived at the headquarters on Mount Shinong a few days ago and will be in Chuzhou in 2 days. This letter is for you. Mo Gio took the letter. It read, on the 18th day of the 7th month, at the 3rd quarter of the hour of the pig, at the edge of the forest behind the Shao Manor, I will get you out. Mo Wang. Mo Gio put the letter away. Old Shun is so straightforward. Doesn't he suspect Mo Gio's intentions? Shun Shermo replied, the person the left steward trusts, this old man naturally trusts as well. Besides, I heard that you once successfully built a wooden kite that could carry a person. Mo Gio replied, rest assured. Wait until I pull off this golden cicada, sheds its shell escape. When we meet again, I will definitely not treat you poorly. Then I wish Miss Gio success in her endeavors. To receive your guidance would be this old man's good fortune. The Shao Manor. Mo Gio returned to her residence. Sixth son Shao is truly a tyrant in the Shao Manor. Disguising myself as him to go to the meeting point and then to visit Minner, the whole journey was so smooth. One Jingshu appeared and called out, sister-in-law, please wait. Mo Gio turned her head in surprise. Second young mistress? I'm dressed like this, and you can still recognize me? One Jingshu replied. Jingshu might not recognize others, but sixth son's figure. Jingshu is extremely familiar with it. Mo Gio said, oh, I heard the second master was beaten 15 times with a family rod and was punished by the Duke to kneel in the ancestral hall for 3 days. The second young mistress doesn't care about the second master, yet she knows so much about the sixth son. Huh? One Jingshu quickly explained. Sister-in-law, Jingshu means no harm. Jingshu is just afraid something might happen again, so I wanted to give you a reminder. Jingshu stepped forward and took Mo Gio's hand. I'm afraid sister-in-law doesn't know. There are already quite a few rumors in the manor about you and sixth son. If we are not careful, it will ruin your reputations, which is not good for either you or sixth son. Mo Gio laughed coldly. Reputation? That thing is the most useless to me. She shook her hand free. As for sixth son Zhao's reputation, it's even less for others to meddle in. Suddenly, Song Yin appeared. You little slut, you're truly shameless. Mo Gio was stunned. Song Yin? Song Yin was indignant. You dare ruin my cousin's reputation. Disgusting. My cousin's reputation. The princess, didn't get to act last time. Let's see if I don't scratch your face to pieces today. Song Yin rushed towards Mo Gio with a knife. Mo Gio laughed coldly. You fool, with just you? Jingshu cried out in alarm. Sister-in-law, be careful. Jingshu pushed Mo Gio away. Mo Gio fell into the lake, and Song Yan's knife stabbed Jingshu. I didn't mean to hurt you. In the water, Mo Gio shouted. Jingshu. Xiao Qin appeared and pulled Jingshu back. She stammered. Sixth son. Xiao Qin then laid Jingshu down. Song Yin explained. Cousin, I didn't do it on purpose. I just wanted to scare that slut. That Mo Gio. I didn't expect to hurt her. You, get back, Xiao Qin yelled. Song Yin said tearfully. Cousin, why are you so angry with me? Because of her. Cousin, you've changed. You've never said a harsh word to me before, but ever since this Mo Gio appeared, you've changed completely. Mo Gio thought to herself, I don't know if this Xiao Qian has changed, but you, girl, have always been one to twist right and wrong. Sixth son Xiao, let me help you. Xiao Qian replied, no need. Mo Gio continued, her shoulder is injured. If it's inconvenient for you to treat it, I can't. Xiao Qian cut her off. Sister-in-law, at a time like this, please don't cause any more trouble. Hearing this, Mo Gio was stunned. Disguising myself as you was my oversight. It's also true that little sister Jingshu took a knife from me, but you don't even ask. What really happened? Jingshu woke up and said, Sister-in-law, don't blame yourself. Little sister Jingshu was willing to protect you. Sixth son, don't blame sister-in-law anymore either. Mo Gio spoke up. The second young mistress is right. Just now, Song Yin was just posturing. When she rushed over with a knife, I could have easily dodged it, but you deliberately pushed me into the water and took that stab yourself. To put it that way, you really were very willing. Jingshu tugged at Xiao Qian's sleeve. Sixth son, you know what kind of person I am. How could I do such a thing? Suddenly, a group of maids ran over. Envoy, your subordinate has summoned people. Ah, second young mistress. Second young mistress is injured. Second young mistress. The maid next to one Jingshu, Xiaoqing, panicked. Why is there so much blood? Several maids gathered around. Second madam, you have to hold on. Mo Jio sighed and turned to leave. Xiao Qian ordered Shui Fong. Second sister-in-law's injury cannot be delayed. You all immediately take her to the Qian Yuan pavilion. Shui Fong replied, yes. Envoy, are you going to treat her yourself? This subordinate will go prepare the tools and medicinal herbs for you right away. Xiao Qian said, go. Xiao Qing helped Jingshu up. Madam, you must hold on. This servant has heard that our sixth master has 6 principles of non-treatment when healing others, one of which is maintaining the distinction between men and women, so he does not treat female relatives. For him to treat you now in the Qian Yuan pavilion, it shows he is extremely worried about you. Suddenly, a voice called out, sixth son Qian. Xiao Qian turned his head. What else is there? And Mo Jio smiled. If you can't heal her, I can lend a hand. I don't just know how to make roller coasters. I'm also very good at making coffins. If you need, I can even arrange a double coffin for you. Xiao Qian turned and walked away without a change in expression. In the small courtyard next door, Mo Jio sat in front of a chicken coop. She throttled a hen. In this chicken coop, you're the prettiest one. Consider yourself lucky. I was originally going to leave that sixth son a proper farewell letter, but now she wrote several large words. Sixth son Xiao. Go on and be fooled by that two-faced sister-in-law of yours. I'm done playing with you. Then, a piece of paper was hung around the chicken's neck. This chicken with a widow's fate is truly a perfect match for the eldest son Xiao. Afterwards, Mo Jio climbed over the wall and left. The chicken stared blankly after her. Mo Jio walked alone through the dense forest. The fog in this forest is so thick. Mo Wang approached, leading 2 horses. Mo Jio was overjoyed. Eldest martial brother. Mo Wang asked, is Miss Jio all right? Mo Jio replied, I'm fine. I've always been very fine. I just missed my dashing eldest martial brother. Mo Jio looked down from a high place at the brightly lit Xiao Manor. Sixth son Xiao. If you can still find me this time, I'll call your grandfather my father. Mo Wang got on his horse and said, let's go. Mo Jio also mounted her horse, looked at the city behind her, and asked, we're just leaving like this? What about my Aunt Lan and Minner? Mo Wang replied, Old Shun has already secretly moved them from Jishir Hall to another medical clinic. Once Minner has recovered, he will naturally bring them to meet you. Mo Jio smiled. Eldest martial brother is so thoughtful. And so the 2 of them spurred their horses onward, their figures gradually disappearing into the fog. The 2 arrived before a grave. Mo Wang said to her, get off the horse. The destination of this trip is right before our eyes. Mo Jio saw it and was puzzled. A tomb? Mo Wang stepped forward, bowed before the tombstone, then reached out and pressed a switch. A door immediately appeared on the tombstone. Mo Wang smiled at Mo Jio. A little girl, Mo Linger, ran out from the door. When Mo Jio saw her, she was surprised. Linger? Mo Linger ran over and asked, elder sister Mo Jio, why did you only just arrive? Linger and the left steward have been waiting for you all day. Mo Wang said to the 2 of them, you'll have plenty of time to catch up later. Don't delay now. Miss Jio, please take off your clothes. Mo Jio and Linger were both startled by this. What? Mo Wang coughed awkwardly and explained, don't misunderstand. I want you and Linger to exchange clothes. Xiao Qian is a deep schemer with eyes and ears everywhere. You've been found by him several times when you left. This time, I cannot but be on guard. After Mo Jio heard this, she smiled and asked, eldest martial brother, you want me to hide in a tomb to avoid Xiao Qian's pursuit? Mo Wang replied, exactly. Mo Wang turned around to let Mo Jio and Mo Linger change clothes. A moment later, Mo Jio spoke up, eldest martial brother, you can turn back now. We're done changing. She looked towards the front of the tomb and asked, is this a real tomb or a fake one? Mo Wang explained, it's real, but you don't need to be afraid. Only the tomb chamber is left inside. The coffin and other things were looted long ago. She thought to herself, me afraid of this? An archaeologist entering an ancient tomb. Isn't that like delivering fat right to a cat's mouth? She approached the tomb and asked, this tomb is so well hidden. How did you two discover it? Mo Wang recounted. Back when the Shao family was building their residence, they invited son Inyang to survey the feng shui of this place. Old son discovered this tomb at that time. The tomb chamber of its owner is in the northeast corner of the Shao estate, and this is the tomb entrance. Hearing this, Mo Jio's face paled in shock underneath the Shao family's house. Wait a minute, isn't the northeast corner my little courtyard? No wonder I kept having nightmares. It turns out I was sleeping on top of someone's grave. But, eldest martial brother, I have a question I don't know if I should ask. Mo Wang nodded. Go ahead and ask. It's fine. Mo Jio said, although I call you martial brother, our relationship isn't that close. Today, you've offended the Shao family for my sake, which will surely bring a lot of trouble. And our relationship is far from close enough for you to take such a huge risk. What exactly is your purpose, martial brother? Hearing this, Mo Wang fell silent. At this moment, Mo Linger stepped forward to explain. It's because you look like my elder sister Yen. Mo Jio was puzzled. Who exactly is elder sister Yen? Mo Wang was lost in thought. Shao Qian can't cover the sky with one hand. My Mo family is powerful. If we want to protect one person, we can still do it. As for other matters, Miss Zhou only needs to know that Mo Wang will absolutely not harm you. You don't need to worry about the rest. I've already had Linger prepare water and food inside. This tomb is very secret. Not even the people in the Shao Manor know about it. You can rest assured and get some sleep. Once we confirm that everything is clear outside, we will come and get you. Mo Jio stepped into the tomb and replied, all right. After she entered, Mo Wang immediately pressed the mechanism, closing the tomb door. He said, Ling, let's go. The little girl replied, yes. And so the two of them spurred their horses and left again. The hour of the tiger, the Shao Manor. A maid screamed in terror. This is bad. This is bad. The eldest young mistress has disappeared again. The bride has turned into a patterned hen. The maid knelt on the ground and reported, tomorrow is the wedding day. This morning, this servant was ordered by the first madam to bring the wedding dress to the eldest young mistress. But who would have thought that only a hen was left in the courtyard? Envoy, what do you think should be done about this? Shao Qian angrily clenched the cloth in his hand and said, I know. Take the bride away. The maid stood up, holding the hen and stammering. This is... Just then, Shuefeng ran in and called out, Envoy, we found her. At the Uli Inn, she's with Mo Wang. Hearing this, Shao Qian muttered, Mo Wang, it's him again. Gather the men. Follow me to get her. Shuefeng immediately replied, yes. As soon as they were out the door, they were stopped. Sixth master, please wait. Shao Qian was puzzled. You are second sister-in-law's maid? That servant replied, yes, this servant is Xia Qing. The second young mistress's injury is quite serious. She would like to invite. Shao Qian immediately cut her off. Go back and tell your mistress to add another qian of Nodo ginseng and angelica from the medicine room. Drink it for a day and then come for a follow-up. Xia Qing stammered, but the mistress said she must invite the sixth master over to take a look. Hearing this, he was suddenly startled. He reached up to touch the bite mark, thinking to himself, the goo worm bite suddenly throbs with pain. Could it be that something has happened to Mo Jio? He turned and walked away coldly. Seeing this, the maid stammered. Sixth master, he said coldly and loudly. I have matters to attend to. Don't block my way. The next morning, Shao Qian's subordinate knelt and bowed. Envoy, the spy reports. That Miss Jio is in room heaven number 2. Shao Qian said coldly. Search. His subordinate immediately replied, yes. In the inn, Mo Wang was drinking tea. The envoy's news certainly travels fast. Shao Qian led his subordinates in and said, after the Battle of Linen, the Mo family's vitality was greatly damaged. Now, the left steward still wants to meddle in my Shao family's affairs. Have you considered the consequences? Mo Wang stood up and said, Mo Jio is just a weak, unarmed woman. Yet Envoy Shao insists on forcing her to marry into the Shao family. This is not the action of a gentleman. After a search, Xiao Qian's subordinate shouted. Envoy, Miss Jiu is not here. The Miss Jiu the spy discovered earlier was a maid in disguise. At this moment, Mo Linger was caught by Xiao Qian's subordinates. She called out, Left steward. Seeing her, Mo Wang was surprised. Linger, why are you still here? Didn't I tell you to leave first? Xiao Qian laughed coldly. The back courtyard has been surrounded by my men. Where could she run? Mo Wang was furious. You, Xiao Qian said coldly. I'll give you 1 hour. Hand over Mo Jiu, and I will wait here. After 1 hour, if I don't see her, you can prepare to collect a corpse. Mo Wang gave a cold laugh and took out his flute, asking, Does Envoy Xiao really think that I, Mo, am afraid of you? Xiao Qian waved his hand. It's best if you're not afraid. Men, bring the people up to liven things up for the left steward. Xiao Qian's subordinates immediately brought 2 men forward. An old man said, Left steward, they acted too quickly. They've already figured out our retreat route. Xiao Qian threatened, I know the left steward isn't afraid of death. So from now on, for every quarter of an hour that passes, I will kill 1 person. I want to see just how tough the left steward's mouth really is. The other man shouted, I'm already this old. I've long been tired of living. If Envoy Xiao wants to kill, then kill. But if you want us to hand over Miss Jiu to you, don't even think about it. Xiao Qian gave a cold command. Men, old Shun wants to die early. Grant him his wish. Just as Xiao Qian's subordinate was about to behead old Shun, Mo Wang rushed forward, blocking the sword with his flute. Envoy Xiao, do not harm the innocent. This matter was done by Mo Wang alone, and I will bear the consequences alone. If you want to kill someone to vent your anger, do as you please. Xiao Qian stepped forward, asking with a cold smile, Do as I please? That's fine too. Seeing this, Mo Linger shouted, Don't kill the left steward. Ling Ni knows where Sister Mo Jiu is. Lin Ni will take you there. Hearing this, Mo Wang angrily scolded. Lin Ni, don't talk nonsense. Mo Lin Ni said, Left steward, Sister Jiu is a member of the Xiao family. Even if Envoy Xiao takes her back, he won't take her life. But she definitely wouldn't want you to die for her. If Sister Jiu knew what happened today, she certainly wouldn't blame Lin Ni. Xiao Qian ordered, Lead the way. Hearing this, Mo Wang could only grit his teeth in silence. Upon arriving at the tombstone, Mo Wang was startled. Impossible. How has the mechanism been restored? Xiao Qian said with a cold face. Speak clearly. Mo Wang explained. Someone has tampered with the mechanism. It can't be open the way it was when Lin Ni and I left. Everything was clearly fine then. Xiao Qian immediately let go of Mo Wang and ordered, Xuefeng, gather our men and break down this stone door for me. Xuefeng immediately replied, Yes. Mo Wang hurriedly stopped him. You can't break it. When the Mo family cleared this tomb in the past, they discovered such a mechanism inside and considered it a perilous place. Now that the mechanism has been restored, it's extremely strange. If you act rashly, I'm afraid. Xiao Qian's face darkened. The left steward isn't afraid of Mo Jiu suffocating inside, but I am worried the Xiao family will have no bride for the wedding ceremony. Break it. Mo Wang continued to stop him. You can't. Envoy, give me half a shirt, Shun. I can open this mechanism. Xiao Qian retorted. On what grounds should I trust you again? Mo Wang replied. On my sincerity. I have absolutely no intention of harming her. Xiao Qian said angrily, Your sincerity? I think you're tired of living. Suddenly, a splitting headache hit him, and he clutched his chest and coughed. Xuefeng rushed over in alarm and asked, Envoy, what's wrong? Xiao Qian reassured him, I'm fine. He thought to himself, Mo Jiu, you absolutely must not let anything happen to you. Meanwhile, in another place, Mo Jiu let out a groan and opened her eyes. Shivering all over, she mumbled, so cold. She noticed the water level at her feet was rising and was startled. This is bad. It's cold water. What on earth happened? She stood up, enduring the cold as she walked forward. If Mo Wang wanted to harm me, he had countless opportunities on the way. He didn't need to go to such trouble. This tomb suddenly has a problem. Could it be that something happened to them outside? She walked to the stone door, knocked, and called out, Eldest brother, Lin Ni, where did this stone door fall? And there's no mechanism to open it from the outside. The walls of this tomb chamber might be a thick layer of ancient ice. So after the tomb door was opened, the warm air from outside rushed in, causing the ice to melt. The walls also began to leak water. Because it was too cold, she staggered and fell, leaning against the wall. She continued to think, it's just that the warm air in the tomb is limited, so the ice won't melt too quickly. I won't drown in here, but the air in the tomb is about to run out. Xiao Qian stood outside the door, calling out silently in his heart, Mo Gio, hang in there. Wait for me. Mo Gio continued to search for an exit in the ancient tomb. No, I can't stay here forever. Tomb builders always leave themselves a way out. There must be a mechanism that can be opened. She went deeper into the tomb and looked up at the wall, thinking, the female official in this mural, her appearance is very similar to that jade statue of a female official. There must be some connection. She walked forward and accidentally stepped on a mechanism. In an instant, gears began to turn, causing her to fall to the ground, while the goo worm on Xiao Qian's neck began to act up, making him groan in pain. Xuefeng asked worriedly, Envoy, what on earth is wrong with you? Xiao Qian thought angrily. This old Kong Yin Yang. Seeing him, Kong Yin Yang stammered in fear. Xiao, Envoy Xiao, he asked angrily. Kong Yin Yang, did you discover this tomb? The old man replied, trembling, yes. Yes. He continued to ask, do you know how to open the mechanism? The old man replied, Envoy, this old man only knows feng shui. This kind of mechanism art is still a job for the left steward. The old man looked at him, trembling. Xiao Qian narrowed his eyes threateningly. Since you know feng shui, you should also know about fate. I ask you, who exactly is Mo Gio? The old man stammered. This old man doesn't understand the envoy's meaning. Hearing this, Xiao Qian angrily pushed his head down and scolded. You don't understand? The old man quickly cried out, Envoy, spare my life. Xiao Qian continued coldly. Mo Gio is not only a woman born in a Yin year, Yin month, and Yin day, with a purely Yin 4 pillars of destiny, but she's also the destined Mahist Grand Master of the Mo family. Is that right? Mo Wang, who was searching for the mechanism nearby, heard this and broke out in a cold sweat. How does Xiao Qian know that Mo Gio is the new Grandmaster? This is the highest secret of the Mo family. Kong Yin Yang stammered. Grandmaster? What's that? This old man has long had no connection with the Mo family. How could I know these secrets? Xiao Qian grabbed him by the neck, lifted him up, and asked, You don't know? Very well, then explain this to me clearly. Mo Gio isn't the only woman with a purely Yin 4 pillars of destiny in Nanron. Why did you deliberately want my grandmother to marry her to my eldest brother? Now that she's trapped in the mechanism, was it an accident or intentional on your part? The old man stammered. Envoy. At this moment, his subordinate returned, saluted, and reported, Envoy, there's movement outside. What's all the panic about? The subordinate replied, Today, Prime Minister Xie came to the manor to deliver gifts. He learned that we have surrounded the back mountain and has now led his men to the edge of the forest. They're probably about to charge in. Hearing this, Xiao Qian was silent for a moment. Then he let go of Kong Yin Yang, turned his head, and called out, Xuefeng, go immediately and invite the little prince here. You must stop Prime Minister Xie. Xuefeng immediately replied, This subordinate obeys. As soon as Kong Yin Yang was released, he immediately pressed his hand on a mechanism. The mechanism opened, and he fell through, surprising everyone. Xiao Qian immediately rushed forward before the mechanism closed. Seeing this, Xuefeng called out worriedly, Envoy. He immediately used his sword to slow his descent, but due to the height, he still felt a sharp pain when his feet hit the ground. He immediately drew his sword and slashed in one direction. At this moment, Mo Gio spoke up. Hey, stop being childish. Do you think your sword can stop the power of a mechanism? Hearing this familiar voice, he asked in surprise, Mo Gio? She was also extremely surprised by this voice. Xiao Qian? He nodded. Where are you? She looked around blankly in the darkness, her body trembling from the cold. She hugged her arms and asked, You're asking me where I am? Aren't you already leaning against me? Xiao Qian stood there, turning to look around, his voice still full of doubt. What are you talking about? I'm standing. Mo Gio shivered, a chill running down her spine. She had been feeling something pressed against her back, but he said it wasn't him, which made her suspicious. What? Then who is lying behind me? Just then, a candlelight flickered. From the other side of the tomb chamber, Xiao Qian appeared, holding a candle. The flickering flame made his eyes seem even deeper. He clearly saw a woman with a pale face and closed eyes leaning against Mo Jio's back, a cold corpse. He quickly moved forward and took her hand. Don't turn around. Take my hand, stand up first. Mo Jio stood up, but her mind was still in chaos. She didn't dare to turn around, didn't dare to think too deeply. What on earth is that thing behind me? He pressed her head down and said, Don't look, it's a female corpse. Hearing this, she just let out an oh. Not all frightened. Instead, she tilted her head as if talking about something ordinary. I was wondering what it was. Birth, old age, sickness, and death are nothing to be afraid of. But for such a beautiful young lady to freeze to death here is truly strange. She suddenly fell against me. It could be that she was accidentally touched, or perhaps she sensed my warmth. Xiao Qian explained, Just now, someone broke into the tomb chamber and used a mechanism to escape. The female corpse fell. It was probably because that person touched the mechanism. Mo Jio looked up at him, her deep eyes asking, So you came down here to chase that person? Xiao Qian shook his head and replied, I came to find you. He took off his outer robe and gently draped it over her. Put this on. Seeing this, she was startled. He said nothing more, only helping her sit down on the cold steps, as if afraid her small frame would start shivering from the cold again. Mo Jio looked up, pursing her lips. My clothes are all soaked. Giving me your robe won't do any good. Why don't you take off another one for me? Hearing this, Xiao Qian stiffened, his brows furrowing. He watched as Mo Jio began to take off her clothes and stared at her, asking, How old are you? She answered casually, probably around 15 or 16. Why don't I look it? Xiao Qian reached out his hand, gently stroking her hair, and replied, You really don't. He thought to himself, the traces here are even stranger than before. It might have been triggered by something. He lowered his head and called to her, Mo Jio. She asked in confusion. Feeling the warmth from his body, she thought to herself, so warm. He whispered in her ear, Answer me carefully. Before I arrived, did you experience symptoms like your body burning up and your heart racing? She immediately replied, Body, heart racing, yes. Ever since I was trapped in the tomb, I've had chest tightness and a racing heart. But strangely enough, these reactions all disappeared after you arrived. Being held by you like this, it's like a stream flowing into the great sea, becoming calm again. Hearing this, Xiao Qian frowned. Her condition is very similar to mine. She looked up at him and asked, Xiao Lulang, looking at your expression, you must already know the reason for my symptoms. Xiao Qian stood up, pulled open his collar, and said, I suspect those symptoms might be related to the goo worms in your body and mine. Seeing this, she was shocked. This is? Do you mean that you and I are having the same symptoms? He took her hand and replied, That's right. Don't touch it carelessly. She asked doubtfully, So you suddenly hugged me just now to verify your suspicion? He nodded. The goo worm on me and the one on you. I'm afraid they are now connected. Mo Jio hugged herself and said, But it was clearly fine before. Other than frequently dreaming about you, there was nothing else. Xiao Qian said, I suspect it might be due to the cold environment in the tomb. She asked doubtfully, You mean the goo worms are affected by the temperature, sensed a threat from the cold, and thus reacted? And when the two goo worms get close, they sense their own kind, so they're no longer agitated, and that's why they gradually stopped, temporarily sparing us. They're two hosts. He grunted in agreement. So the urgent matter now is to leave this place first. Mo Wang is up there. I believe he can find the mechanism to open this place. You just have to hold on a little longer. She wiped her tears and said, I suddenly fell down here just now. It was pitch black all around. I couldn't see anything, so I was helpless. But now, she looked at the statues in front of her, smiled, and said, The Grand Master of Mechanisms is right before our eyes. Do you really want to rely on someone else? Xiao Qian nodded. All right, you do it. She stepped forward, patted his shoulder, and said, You're injured, so just sit aside and rest. Why pretend to be strong? When it comes to intricacy, you have to use your brain. Brute force is useless. Be good and wait for me here. She walked forward, looked at the statues, and said, I'm very cold right now. If you really want to help, then talk to me to distract me. He asked in confusion, Talk about what? While focusing on the statue, she said, the goo worms in our bodies. What exactly are they? Don't you have any clues at all? He replied, the men I sent to the Meow border haven't sent back any news. But our lives are not in danger for the time being. Mo began to solve the puzzle, and she asked him, this can't be rushed. If we rashly try to remove the goo, I'm afraid it will cause another reaction. Right? She smiled and suggested, I have a very simple way to deal with it, and it can cure the root cause. He asked curiously, what way? She asked cheerfully, I kill you, then I kill myself. Wouldn't the goo worms all die then? Hearing this, Xiao Qian was silent. Mo sighed and continued to look at the statue, saying, it's just that I don't know if I'll still be alive and able to return after killing myself. Xiao Qian asked in confusion, you still want to go back to Sui? Mo was curious. What is Sui? I don't want to go back to some Sui. I want to go home to my own home. She was silent for a moment, then said again, Xiao Qian, I don't want to marry your eldest brother. Hearing this, he closed his eyes and said, tomorrow is the wedding ceremony. The guests have all arrived at the manor. This matter can no longer be changed. She retorted, is that so? Suddenly, a sound rang out, startling Xiao Qian. He called out, Mo. She said, don't come over. He asked fearfully, what are you trying to do? She smiled and said, my position is the key to opening the mechanism. If you move around carelessly and the mechanism changes, neither of us will be able to get out. Hearing this, Xiao Qian immediately stopped in his tracks. Mo looked at the statues and explained, these 8 ice statues are arranged according to the 8 trigrams. This is an ice chamber. Ice comes from water, and the meaning of the can trigram is also water, so I guess just now that the mechanism will be placed in the can position. She placed her hand on the flute, and a sound rang out. She smiled and said, as it turns out, my guess was very accurate. Immediately after, the wall rotated, and the ice statue shattered. Seeing this, Xiao Qian called out worriedly, the situation with this mechanism is unclear. Mo, come back quickly. A door opened, and she replied to him faintly, the envoy is of noble status and is also injured. As your future sister-in-law, how could I dare let you take the risk? The mechanism is open. Mo1 will find this place soon. You wait here for a while. You won't be in any danger. It's just that I don't want to get married, so I'll be leaving first. Mo grabbed a statue and ran inside. He called out, wait, but the door immediately slammed shut. He punched the door and called her name, Mo. He cursed angrily. Damn it, the door still wouldn't open. He picked up that outer robe and thought to himself, I never thought that the one who plays with fire would get burned. He clenched the clothes in his hand, his whole body shaking from a cough, and blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. He thought to himself, I've only just been separated from Mo, and the goo poison is already acting up again. Just then, a voice echoed from above. Envoy, where are you? He put on his robe and said, stand back, I'm coming out now. He looked at the scene here and thought, Mo, as for the plan now, I can only get out first and figure things out later. As for Mo, after entering another secret chamber, she leaned against the place where the chamber opened, panting. She cursed to herself, damn it, I forgot that after separating from Xiao Qian, the chest tightness and shortness of breath would come back. It's so uncomfortable, my eyelids are so heavy. What on earth is this goo poison that it's so powerful? She lay on the ground and thought, at this rate, does this mean I'll never be able to escape from Xiao Qian in the future? What is this? Is this some kind of mandatory binding for transmigrating to another world? Meanwhile, in another place, a sound woke up the woman in the room. The woman asked, what was that sound? She pushed open the door and entered to see Mo lying on the bed. She shouted, the first young mistress is back. Old madam, first madam, the first young mistress is back. Mo woke up, opened her eyes, and thought, where is this? Suddenly, 2 chickens appeared before her eyes, and she sat up with a start. She asked angrily, the exit of the mechanism in the ice chamber is my bed in the Xiao Manor? She thought worriedly, heavens, did I just walk right into a trap? If Xiao Qian finds out about this, he'd probably wake up laughing in his sleep. She held the ice sculpture in her hand and mumbled, Xiao Qian. She touched her neck and thought, the uncomfortable feeling from the secret passage is gone. Could it be that after leaving that cold place, the goo poison has gone dormant again? I wonder how things are on Xiao Qian's side. At this moment, Xiao Qian had also just returned to the manor, being helped down by his subordinate. A maidservant ran over, smiling, and said, Six master, you're back? Seeing her, Xiao Qian asked, you're not attending to second sister-in-law. "What are you doing here?" She replied, "My mistress heard that Miss Jiu has returned, so she hurriedly sent me here to wait for sixth master. My mistress is worried that you were out in the rain looking for her and told you to rest well, so you don't catch a cold." Hearing this, he stopped and asked, "Emojio is back? How did she get back?" Xiaoqing replied, "I don't know about that. I heard she fell from the sky and suddenly appeared in her room." Xiao Qian turned his head and said, "You may leave." Xiaoqing immediately curtsied and replied, "Yes." On the corridor, Xiao Qian ordered Shui Fong, "Go to the small courtyard and see how she is. If anything is wrong, report back immediately. Also, go find that Nanny Lan who is by her side and bring her back. Tomorrow is the wedding ceremony. It will be inconvenient for her to be without anyone by her side." Shui Fong saluted and replied, "Yes." Just then, Xiao Qian sensed something unusual and shouted angrily, "Who's there?" Shui Fong immediately stood guard in front of Xiao Qian, protecting him. Emojio, who had just walked out, fell silent upon seeing this scene. Shui Fong was surprised. "Miss Jiu." She coughed and said, "I came to see your envoy." "Xiao Qian, are you all right?" Shui Fong, with sweat on his brow, replied, "Well, the envoy was slightly injured in the secret passage, but it's nothing serious." "Miss Jiu, don't worry." He didn't answer, so she stepped forward, tugged on his sleeve, and asked, "Are you angry?" "I admit that I left first and abandoned you just now. That was my fault." He turned around and replied, "If the exit of the secret passage wasn't your room, if you had already fled the Shao Manor and were far away by now, sister-in-law, would I still be able to hear these words from you?" She said awkwardly, This. Xiao Qian continued, "Tomorrow's ceremony is complicated. Since you're back, sister-in-law, you should rest well and not run around anymore." She watched his retreating back and thought, "Tomorrow's wedding, no matter how many times I run, I can't escape. Perhaps it's my fate to marry into the Shao family." She was silent for a moment, then reached up to touch the mark on her neck. Then she stretched and said, "Whatever. What's meant to be will be. If I have to marry, I'll marry." That night, the servants were busy preparing for the wedding. Emojio, however, sat on a tree branch, thinking, "Tomorrow, I'm going to be someone's wife. Today is my last day as a single woman. If I hadn't transmigrated, I'd probably be at a bachelorette party before my wedding, partying like crazy until the very last minute." Two maidservants walked by with things and said, "Congratulations, Miss Jiu." She continued to be lost in thought, or maybe I'd be rehearsing the wedding with the groom. But here, it seems like everyone cares a lot about this wedding, except for me, who it has nothing to do with. Suddenly, a fragrance made her gasp in surprise. "What smells so good?" She stood up and looked around. It's already past dinner time. Who's having a late night snack? And this smell of wine and meat is so rich. It's making me hungry too. I have to go find it. She happily followed the scent. Eating with someone in the middle of the night, if I find them, I should get a share. Emojio followed the scent to a lotus pond, and she stood on the bank saying, "Hey, you snack sneaker on the boat. I found you." The man turned around, smiled, and asked, "Is the young lady calling me?" She was surprised. "You?" She thought to herself, "Since when did the Duke's Manor have such an outstandingly charismatic person?" But in terms of looks, if Xiao Lulang is celestial and aloof, both ascetic and cunning, then the person before me is a gentleman, gentle and warm like jade. She spoke up and asked, "Who are you? Why are you drinking alone here in the middle of the night?" The young man smiled and said, "Who I am is not important. For you and I to meet is fate. Would the young lady like to share a cup?" She asked curiously, "What wine are you drinking?" The young man replied, "The Shao family's 100-year-old fine wine, Li Shang. Ordinary people are not allowed to drink it." She looked at the food on the table, her mouth watering as she asked, "What meat are you eating?" The young man introduced, "Osmanthus meat. This is a famous dish from Linen. You can't find any as authentic as this in Jinzhou." She smiled happily and said, "Then let me say this first. I'm eating your food, but I have nothing to give in return." The young man helped her and asked, "Making friends over food is a joyous occasion. Why would one need anything in return in this world?" She stepped onto the boat and said cheerfully, "Making friends over food, well said. Since you've invited me so enthusiastically, it would be disrespectful of me to refuse." The young man handed her a cup of wine. "Please, young lady." She sniffed the aroma and praised, "It truly is a fine wine. It's just that I'm curious. This wine is a fine vintage of the Shao family. How come I didn't know about it? Ordinary people can't drink it. So how can you?" The young man smiled and replied, because I brought the water of linen and the meat of linen to make this authentic linen osmanthus meat. Hearing this, she was surprised. Hey, is he really a man of this era? He even knows how to cook. That young man poured the wine and said, as for the Shao family's Li Shang, 100 years ago, they were a family of winemakers. Although they still make wine now, there's no longer a wine called Li Shang, only the kind from 100 years ago. Wine brewed under the large pear tree of the Shao family is called Li Shang. 100 years have passed, and there isn't much Li Shang left. Each batch is as precious as gold, so ordinary people naturally wouldn't know about it. She drank and asked, in that case, you're no ordinary person. Linen and Jinzhou are 1,000 miles apart, so preserving fresh meat is not easy. The Shao family's Li Shang is as expensive as gold. Both are hard to come by, but you don't treat them as rare items. Who exactly are you? The young man poured another cup of wine, rested his chin on his hand, and smiled at her as he replied, a distant relative of the Shao family, here to offer congratulations. Hearing this, she burst out laughing, a clever answer. You answered, yet you didn't answer. But that's fine. Good wine, good food, a beautiful night, and beautiful scenery. Since I've eaten your food, I'll also abide by the code of the martial world. Why must we ask for names when we meet? Let's enjoy the moment. Cheers! That young man clinked cups with her and said, to the people, food is heaven. No one is unhappy. Cheers! Hearing this, Imo Jio burst into laughter. She stared at the wine cup and sighed. It's just a pity that after this meal, who knows when the next one will be. That young man said, the delicacies of the Rong dynasty are all in linen. If the young lady comes to linen, I will take you to eat all the delicious food. She rested her chin on her hand, smiled and asked, is that true? The young man nodded. Of course, it's true. She replied happily, all right, a gentleman's word is his bond. Let me tell you, you'd better not lie to me. There was once a person who said the stinky tofu from his hometown was delicious and that he would bring some for me when he returned, but he broke his promise. He didn't bring it for me. Guess what happened to him after that? That young man was surprised and curious, asking, what happened to him? She smiled and said, I made him eat green tofu without salt for half a year. After saying that, she burst into loud laughter. After hearing this, the young man was silent. Then he looked up and said, I will not break my promise. This is a token. He took off the ring on his hand and gave it to her, saying, if you come to Linen, take this to find me on Juke Street. She replied, all right, then we'll meet again in Linen, making friends over food. The young man nodded, all right, I'll be waiting for you in Linen. Then she became curious again, but you still haven't told me your name. Who should I look for then? The young man reached out his hand, dipped it in some wine, and wrote a name on the table. Emojio looked at it, puzzled. Dongshi. Could it be that you have a brother named Qiuji? At the same time, in Xiao Qian's room, Shuefeng was walking to the window to close it, saying, the autumn wind is chilly. Envoy, you have an injury. Why don't you close the window and rest? He was bandaging the wound on his leg and said, if you have something to say, just say it. Shuefeng had sweat on his brow. Well, just now, the old madam sent a message saying that the eldest young master can't get up. Second master has been grounded by the old master. For tomorrow's wedding, she asks you to perform the wedding ceremony with Miss Jio in place of the eldest young master. The roll of gauze in Xiao Qian's hand immediately fell to the ground. He said in shock, what? The next day, the maids came to Mo Jio's room, everyone calling, young lady, wake up, hurry and wake up. She hugged the blanket and replied, let me sleep a little longer, it's not even light out yet. Seeing this, the maid said, oh, my dear young lady, what day is it today that you're still waiting for daylight? Be careful not to be laughed at. Get up quickly and change to get ready. She held her head and said, let them laugh if they want to. She shot up, exclaiming happily, Annie Lan, Xiao Qian really did send someone to bring you back. She happily led her to the dressing table. That's right. The envoy didn't want others to be implicated because I helped you run away. After I returned, the envoy also sent someone to take care of Amon. She yawned and said, he is a man of his word. As Auntie Lan combed Mo Jio's hair, she said, the envoy is a man who keeps his promises. But after the wedding ceremony, you will truly become his eldest sister-in-law today. Remember not to be too close with him anymore, lest you ruin your reputation. She comforted her, don't worry, I won't leave any reputation behind to ruin. ruin? What is there to ruin? Auntie Lan scolded. You're speaking nonsense again. Auntie Lan stroked her head and said, Young lady, listen to me. This world is not a world for us, poor people, and it is even less a world for women. Marrying out today, you have no maternal family to support you. In the Shao residence, you will suffer many grievances. You must endure everything and not cause trouble for no reason anymore. Mo Jio covered her face with the veil and said, Auntie, don't worry. I will endure. Whoever provokes me, I will deal with them, and I absolutely won't implicate their whole family. Hearing this, Auntie Lan was shocked. What are you saying? You'll be the death of me. The auspicious hour has arrived. Mo Jio's bridal sedan, along with a large dowry, was carried to the Shao family. The crowd gossiped. I didn't expect the Mo family to have some face providing such a large dowry. What's the use of a large dowry? I heard the eldest grandson of the Shao family is gravely ill, isn't he? If this happy occasion turns into a sad one, it will be quite a scene. Mo Jio was helped out of the sedan by her maids. At this moment, everyone saw Shao Qian and grew tense. Quiet, don't you see who's here? Shao Qian walked towards Mo Jio. A maid handed them a red silk ribbon, saying, Young lady, young master, please hold the red ribbon. Mo Jio frowned, wondering. The last time I saw Shao Changzi, he was so sick he couldn't even stand steadily. How can he come to receive the bride now? The two of them walked into the main hall. 1 wish for glory and wealth, 2 wishes for a house full of gold and jade, 3 wishes for success in the highest imperial examinations, 4 wishes for the dragon and phoenix to bring prosperity. As Mo Jio walked, she thought to herself, and also, why is the cool mint scent on him so familiar? Through her veil, she looked at his shoes, becoming more confused. And why is the groom wearing such a plain pair of shoes? This isn't right. This person is not first young Master Shao. Then who is this person holding my hand? The matchmaker announced, the auspicious hour has arrived. First bow to heaven and earth. Song Yin saw this scene and asked in shock, Imperial brother, why is the groom? Her brother scolded, shut up, don't be nosy. Mo Jio thought angrily, forcing me to marry and then making me perform the wedding ceremony with someone else in a daze. Don't you dare go too far, Shao family. The matchmaker continued to call out, second bow to the elders. At this moment, Prime Minister Xie sat to one side, drinking wine. He stared intently at the ongoing wedding. Seeing that Mo Jio didn't bow, her maid rushed over and pushed her head down. My dear young lady, this is a life or death moment. Don't go crazy now. The matchmaker called out. The couple bows to each other. Mo Jio thought to herself, crazy, right? I'm a crazy person anyway. Then I'll cause a scene in this wedding hall and see the true face of my husband. Just as she lifted her veil, she saw Shao Qian's face and was stunned. He seems pretty normal. Shao Qian caught her, asking, what trick are you trying to pull? She was dazed. Shao Qian, why is it you? He replied, grandmother's order. She gave a cold laugh. With your status in the Shao residence, if you didn't want to, who could force you into the wedding hall? Cold on the outside, warm on the inside. Could it be that you're secretly in love with me? Shao Qian was silent, then covered her face with the veil again, saying, sister-in-law, be careful. The matron called out, escort them to the bridal chamber. Mo Jio clenched her fists, calling, 6th young Master Shao. She thought to herself, this is getting interesting. Just then, the doors were pushed open, and a young man burst in, saying, hold on, Shao Changzi caused my sister's death, and he still wants to enter the bridal chamber with someone else. The mysterious 15-year-old boy threw a table, shouting, in your dreams. The table shattered, sending pieces flying, causing all the guests to panic. After hearing this, Mo Jio asked, your older brother is that crazy, and he still has romantic debts? The young man now rushed forward, saying, Shao Changzi, I must kill you. Kill you. Shao Qian blocked the young man's fist with one hand, then hit his pressure point, rendering him unable to speak. He was shocked. He hit my throat's pressure point. Shao Qian ordered. This young man has mistaken the person. Shuefeng, take this young man away, give him something to eat, and comfort him well. Shuefeng immediately ran over and replied, yes. The young man was led away, his mouth making muffled sounds. Prime Minister Xie stood up, smiling, and said, I didn't expect the Duke's residence's wedding to be so lively. The Duke replied, I have made a fool of myself in front of the Prime Minister. He ordered, someone, quickly bring up the prepared jars of 100-year-old Lisang wine, set the banquet, and let our guests recover from the shock. A subordinate immediately entered and replied, yes. Mo Jio lifted her veil and smiled. He asked her, what are you smiling at? She smiled back at him. Aren't you curious which young lady your older brother trifled with, for her younger brother to choose your wedding day, to risk his life against you? He replied nonchalantly, I will handle this matter. The ceremony is complete. Sister-in-law should return to the South Mountain courtyard first. He covered her face with the veil again. She smiled and said, What? You do everything for first young Master Shao. You settle his romantic debts for him. You perform the wedding ceremony for him. Are you also going to bear him a son? Shao Qian remained silent. Annie Lan quickly pulled her away, saying, Young lady, be careful. She turned and huffed. In Shao Qian's study, Xuefeng approached and bowed, calling, Envoy. He rested his chin on his hand and asked, Have you found out? Xuefeng replied, Yes. The young man who caused a disturbance in the hall this morning is named Feng Shichen. His older sister is Feng Shiran, who indeed had a past relationship with the first young master. However, the root of today's incident requires further investigation to be known. Shao Qian wondered, Feng Shiran of the Mo family? Xuefeng presented a letter, saying, Yes. Envoy, there is one more thing. Mo Wang has come and brought an invitation, saying he wishes to see you. He asked, puzzled, Is it about Mo Jio again? The wedding ceremony is already over. Has he still not given up? Xuefeng replied, From what I can tell, I'm afraid he has come this time because of Feng Shichen. Shao Qian replied coldly, I will not see him. After hearing this, Xuefeng turned and said, Yes. Then I will go and reply to him. Suddenly, Shao Qian called out, Wait. This made him wonder, does the envoy have further instructions? Tell him, tonight is my wedding night, I cannot leave. Annie Lan walked with Mo Jio, saying, First madam. The old madam said, Since you have married the first young master, you should wholeheartedly care for your husband. The old madam ordered this servant to tell you that from now on, unless it is an urgent matter, please try not to leave the South Mountain courtyard. All daily food and drink will be brought by someone on time. Mo Jiu lifted her veil, looked at the room guarded by guards, and said in surprise, Your first young master stays in a room by himself, with guards posted outside the door. It's clear he doesn't want anyone to disturb him. So you teach me, how am I supposed to take care of him? The maid replied, This servant is only relaying a message. I do not know anything else. I beg the first madam's forgiveness. It is getting late. Madam should rest early. Mo Jio gave a cold huff, then stepped forward. A subordinate immediately blocked her, saying, Young madam, we are under orders to stand guard here. You may not enter. She smiled and asked, Are your orders to guard this place to keep me out? The man replied, Yes. What if I insist on going in? The two subordinates looked at each other, at a loss. This is beyond the scope of our duties. She turned and said, That's for the best then. She thought to herself, Right now, everyone in the residence is at the banquet in the front courtyard, which is the perfect time for me to act. Yesterday, in the ice chamber, the goo worm reawakened on its own. Although it has left the low-temperature environment and is not as potent as before, Shao Qian's worry is still there. The Lisang wine from yesterday both quench my thirst and help me sleep. I must take advantage of the night to go to the Shao family's wine cellar and see if I can steal 2 more jars. As she was walking, she saw Xuefeng. She asked in surprise, Well, isn't that Xuefeng? At that moment, Xuefeng was giving a message to Mo Wang. Our envoy said, Please come back another day. Tonight is his wedding night. He cannot leave. Hearing this, Mo Jio's cheeks flushed, and she asked, what? That night, Mo Jio tiptoed into the room. She went to Shao Qian's bedside, lifted his blanket, and saw that the bandaged wound on his leg had bled through. She murmured, The wound on his leg is this serious. She looked at him, thinking to herself, He doesn't even make a sound with an injury like this. He's usually so cold and fierce, but he looks so well-behaved and cute when he's asleep. She reached out her hand, but suddenly her wrist was grabbed, startling her. He pushed her onto the bed, his hand tightening around her neck, and snarled, Are you looking to die? She cried out, Shao Qian, it's me. Seeing it was her, he was surprised and asked, Mo Jio, what are you doing here in the middle of the night? She retorted, You're asking me? Didn't you tell Xuefeng that you couldn't leave on your wedding night? I thought that after performing the ceremony for your brother, you were also going to consummate the marriage for him. But I waited and waited, and you never came. So as your sister-in-law, I had to come and see how you were. Hearing this, Shao Qian held his forehead. It was just a casual remark. Sister-in-law didn't have to take it so seriously. He said, Martial artists are naturally vigilant. He waved his hand, and a lamp instantly lit up. You shouldn't be so reckless. Stand by my bed. I'll go get medicine for you. Emoju looked at him, frowning. Just as he was about to get up and leave, she immediately pulled him back. She hugged him. Come back. He was surprised and asked, what are you doing? She smiled, her hand caressing his chest as she said, it's just being touched by you, grabbed by you, and pushed onto the bed twice. What's there to be so tense about? He turned his face away. Nonsense. She smiled and moved closer, asking, still being fierce? With your legs so badly injured, you've become a paper tiger that would fall over with a push. What do you have to be fierce about? There's no one else here. Who are you putting on this unfazed act for? Xiao Qian turned his head away, his face red. She stood up. Gio sneered. Paper tiger. She looked down at his leg at the blood on the bandage. Has the wound opened up? Let me see. She reached out to change his dressing, but he asked, you left in such a hurry from the ice chamber. Why are you here caring for me now? She looked up, stared at him, then leaned on his leg and asked, you can't be serious. Holding such a grudge? He frowned. I'm not. But he thought to himself, ever since the goo worm was awakened in the ancient tomb, I must maintain my composure and not be as lawless as before with Emojio. But if she's not by my side, I feel restless. Only when she is near can I feel at ease. Suddenly, Emojio called out, Sixth Young Master Xiao. He stiffened. She moved closer and said, I promise you, if something like that happens again, I won't leave you behind. Is that okay? He clenched his fists. She stood up first and asked with a smile, so we'll consider this matter settled? He pulled his leg back and asked, tell me, why did you run to my place on your wedding night instead of sleeping in the South Mountain courtyard? Her face darkened. You know it's my wedding night too. Sixth Young Master Xiao, let me ask you, you forced me to marry Xiao Changzi, then had people guard the bamboo building and not let me see him? What kind of logic is that? He replied, my elder brother is gravely ill and cannot share a room with you. The wedding is complete. You are in the South Mountain courtyard. The purpose of this marriage has been achieved. She angrily scolded him. Nonsense, double happiness, strange forces, and chaotic spirits. I don't believe you would care about this. The Xiao family is illustrious, and my elder brother is the legitimate son. Even if his health is poor, with your status as the first young madam, you can enjoy a lifetime of wealth and glory. What not good about that? She frowned. The sky is high and the earth is wide out there. I am in the prime of my youth. What's so good about being locked up in a large residence? She walked to the window and continued, there's a saying, life is precious and love is of a higher price, but for the sake of freedom, both can be cast aside. After hearing this, Xiao Qian got off the bed, murmuring, but for the sake of freedom. He pondered for a moment, then replied, very well. Emojio, I'll just ask you this. Now that the ceremony is done, is it so difficult for you to stay in the South Mountain courtyard and fulfill your duties as the first young madam? She laughed and said, it's not very difficult. It's a pipe dream. If I get the chance, I will definitely run away again. He sighed, then don't run away anymore. Hearing that, she was puzzled. He smiled and looked at her, saying, you just stay put for a few days. Wait for my wound to heal, and I'll take you out of the residence. Hearing this, her face flushed as she asked in surprise, ah? A few days later, a carriage stopped in front of the Xiao residence. Emojio lifted the curtain and looked out, asking, Sixth Young Master Xiao, it's raining so hard, and you're still sneaking me out. Are you trying to elope with me? Xiao Qian sat beside her with his arms crossed and said, I am returning to Chu Prefecture this time on official business. She nodded. I know, for disaster relief with Prime Minister Xie. Xiao Qian explained, a few days ago, the town was hit by heavy rain, causing the river to overflow and topple a stone statue in the town. That stone statue is called the Goddess Stone by the townspeople. Now it's sunk to the bottom of the river, turning the upstream into a dam. The local government has tried everything, but can't move it. Later, they sent people to dive down and see, only to find that the goddess's ankle is trapped by 9 iron rings. After hearing this, Emojio frowned and wondered, 9 iron rings? She thought to herself, could it be the 9 linked rings puzzle? She immediately moved closer to him and asked, you want me to help you solve this mechanism? He nodded. That's right. She smiled and said, to be valued by Envoy Xiao is an honor, but there are conditions. He replied, you may. This immediately surprised her. You're not going to ask what my conditions are? He looked out the window and continued, no matter what they are, It's possible. Mo Gio frowned. Sixth young Master Zhao's attitude towards me now seems quite different from before, but she still smiled and replied with interest. All right, then I won't be polite. First, I really hate your current attitude. If you want my help, the first condition is during this period, you must call me Master Gio, respect me, yield to me, and revere me. After hearing this, Xiao Qian's face turned cold, and he looked at her with a scrutinizing gaze. She continued, no matter what I say, you must unconditionally agree. Xiao Qian had to reply, all right. Mo Gio immediately moved forward, lifting his chin teasingly. Then let me hear you call me Master Gio. His face turned red, and he said through gritted teeth in embarrassment, Master Gio. She blinked and asked, Although Xiao Qian was angry, he could only call her Master Gio. She happily patted his head and praised, good boy. The second condition is also very simple. When you see something I want to do, you can't stop me. When you see something I want to buy, you have to pay for it. In short, you have to ensure I'm well fed and clothed, full in content, and in high spirits. After hearing this, Xiao Qian, his face darkened. Mo Gio asked him, what? You don't agree? He crossed his arms and asked suspiciously, do you also want me to burn 3 sticks of incense for you in the morning, at noon, and at night? She burst out laughing. If you don't mind the trouble, I can make do with that. After he heard that, he angrily slammed his hand against the carriage wall and said, I believe your conditions are not about mutual assistance, but about me worshiping an ancestor. She reached out and caressed his earlobe. If you're short one ancestor, I can reluctantly be one. After all, having a handsome young man like you as a descendant isn't a loss for me. He angrily pushed her hand away. Endure what can be endured, and absolutely do not endure what cannot. Seeing his blushing appearance, she moved forward to tease him. Hey, sixth young Master Xiao, you're blushing again. Whenever you get shy, you don't know where to look. You look so adorable like this. Xiao Qian threatened angrily. If you keep talking nonsense, I will throw you out of the carriage. She laughed and said, you're finally willing to let me go. Fine, that's what I've been hoping for. Xiao Qian gritted his teeth. Mo Gio. The carriage stopped in front of a building. Elder Shin stood on the upper floor looking down, asking, is that Envoy Zhao's carriage? Judging by the direction, he must be heading to the disaster-stricken town. Mo Wang looked down and said, he has the Emperor's orders, so naturally he cannot delay. Fortunately, he has released Chiron. Now I'm only worried about Mo Gio. There's one thing I've never understood. The matter of Mo Gio being newly appointed as the Ju Zi is unknown to the disciples of the Mo family. But why is Xiao Qian so clear about it? Elder Shun walked to the go board and said, I also find this matter very strange. Initially, it was because someone sent a letter that I learned of young Lady Gio's fate. Moreover, when Elder Kong initially mentioned the marriage with the Xiao family, he indeed did not know her identity as the Ju Zi. Mo Wang said to Elder Shun, Elder Kong is the former elder of the King Gate and also your senior brother. I shouldn't have suspected him, but can Elder Shun tell me the truth today? On the day the mechanism was opened at the Xiao family's burial ground in the back mountain, was the person who trapped Mo Gio inside Elder Kong? Elder Shun took out a black stone and replied, that's right. He also only found out about her identity as the new Ju Zi later, so he wanted to test her. He placed the stone on the board, and Mo Wang sat opposite him and said, I understand everyone's thoughts, but the matter of the Ju Zi is of utmost importance. In solving the mechanism, there is not enough to convince the disciples of the Mo family. Elder Shun nodded, that's right. The left proctor's intention is to recommend the young lady to the altar at Shinong Mountain. Mo Wang nodded. I'll have to trouble Elder Shin then. He said he had cast a divination a few days ago. Nanrong will face the calamity of war. The country lacks wise scholars, and the times are difficult. Therefore, he asked about the way of heaven and the way of kings. Mo Wang was curious. What did the hexagram say? He placed a stone down and replied, it was the final hexagram. The chaotic era has arrived, and the land will be unified. The dynasty has a chance to prosper. As the hexagram said, this opportunity will bring forth a great monarch. At the waterfall where the goddess statue had fallen, the soldiers were guarding there. As soon as they saw Xiao Qian arrive, a soldier ran up to salute. Greetings, envoy. Xiao Qian asked, what is the current situation? The subordinate immediately replied, we have sent people to dredge the upstream channel and reinforce the dikes. But if we can't move this huge rock, I'm afraid something will happen sooner or later. Imo-Jiu stepped forward, looked at the stone statue in front of her, and thought to herself, although only half of this good maiden statue is visible, judging by its shape, it is extremely similar to the ice statues in the ice chamber and that jade statue of the young girl. She walked closer to the statue step by step. Xiao Qian said worriedly, "It just rained. The current is swift now. You should still." Imo-Jiu took off her outer coat and handed it to him, interrupting, "It's fine. I'm a good swimmer." Xiao Qian replied, "Water and fire are merciless. You can't joke around." She turned around and asked suspiciously, "Sixth young master Xiao, are you worried about me? I'm afraid if something happens to you, my elder brother will become a widower." She smiled. "Xiao Qian, the one who performed the wedding ceremony with me was you, not your elder brother. Besides, what is Xiao Changzi's situation? Things have come to this point. You have to give me an explanation. He keeps his door shut, and you just keep being vague. I don't want to be kept in the dark anymore." Xiao Qian stammered, Oh. Suddenly, Imo-Jiu jumped into the water, making him extremely anxious. Imo-Jiu dived to the bottom of the river, to where the goddess statue was locked, and thought to herself, "It really is the 9 linked rings." She approached the lock, intending to pull it, but it didn't budge at all. She thought to herself, "I can't say for other things, but when it comes to opening these little toys, your master Jiu here is an expert. Luckily, the water current is strong. If this were on land, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to move it either." She looked down and thought to herself, "The next one." She slowly dived deeper to open those locks. On the bank, Xiao Qian was still waiting anxiously. After a while, Imo-Jiu finally broke the surface of the water. Seeing her, he hurriedly called out, "Imo-Jiu." She smoothed back her hair and said with a smile, "It's fine, almost done. Wait patiently." The other guards were captivated by her appearance, and Xiao Qian was no exception. Imo-Jiu took another deep breath and dived back into the water. Seeing this, a guard said in amazement, She really has a way. How impressive. This young lady is so young, yet she has such extraordinary courage." Xiao Qian whispered, "Imo-Jiu." She continued to unlock the locks. Only the last one left. Suddenly a whirlpool appeared, startling her. This isn't right. This mechanism is... But the whirlpool had already sucked her in, making it impossible for her to swim up. She gradually became exhausted and thought to herself, "I'm really going to die this time." On the bank, the guards and Xue Fong were all stunned. Heavens, heavens. The stone statue is rising. The stone statue slowly rose from the bottom of the water. A guard saw this and said, "Could it be that the young lady really opened all the chains at the bottom of the river? How impressive. Truly worthy of being someone the envoy values. A real talent. It's just that it's been so long. Why hasn't she come ashore yet?" Suddenly, a burning pain shot through his neck, causing him to groan. Xue Fong rushed to support him, calling, "Envoy." Xiao Qian clutched his neck, thinking to himself, "It's Imo-Jiu. She's in danger." Xiao Qian immediately jumped into the river, scaring Xue Fong into shouting, "Envoy." At this moment, at the bottom of the river, Imo-Jiu was slowly sinking. "It's no use. If I have to die here today, I wonder if I can transmigrate back. If so, that wouldn't be too bad. It's just that I haven't had the chance to say goodbye to 6th young master Xiao." Just then, Xiao Qian swam to her side, startling her. There, he swam closer, wrapping his arm around her waist, and thought to himself, "Imo-Jiu, hang in there. Imo-Jiu, this won't do. Something will happen if this continues." He was silent for a moment, then made up his mind, "Forgive my offense." Then he leaned in close and passed air to her. A moment later, Imo-Jiu came to. She slowly opened her eyes, looking at his face, and called out in her heart, "Xiao Qian." After Imo-Jiu regained consciousness, Xiao Qian kept calling her name, Imo-Jiu. Imo-Jiu. She let out a groan, calling, "Xiao Qian." He helped her sit up and breathed a sigh of relief. "It's good that you're awake." She looked at him, her mind still hazy. Just now, in the water, Xiao Qian suddenly coughed awkwardly and explained, "You choked on water. It was an emergency." She raised her hand to cover his lips, asking, "If it was an emergency, what is there for you to be embarrassed about? I won't hold you responsible just because you kindly saved my life. It's just that there's a tomb under that rock. You must have known." Xiao Qian helped her up and nodded. "I know. I've already sent people down to investigate." Imo-Jiu said, "I feel that this tomb has already been robbed." Hearing this, he asked curiously, "How do you know?" When I went into the water to open the 9 linked rings, I discovered that the mechanism had traces of being tampered with by someone else. Moreover, do you remember that day at Zhaoji Wharf? You and I were chasing that tomb robber at the same time? He remembered. The person holding the jade Buddha statue? That's right. He said the floodwaters had entered the ancient tomb, and he had accidentally picked up that piece of jade. I suspect the ancient tomb he was talking about is this one. She pointed to the tomb floating on the water's surface. Continued to explain, first the ice chamber, and now here, things are definitely not that simple. Xiao Lulang, can you find a Mo Wang? Can you ask him to come here? I have something to ask him. He nodded and replied, all right. Just then, a soldier came to report, Prefect, the tomb has been robbed. Your subordinate also discovered many traces of soldiers' bodies being moved from Xie Bingxing's time. Upon hearing this, Xiao Qian was startled. He vigilantly noticed someone was following them from behind. Xiao Qian walked into the forest and said, when Xie Bingsheng was the transport commissioner, the soldiers under his command responsible for transporting military provisions to the front lines suddenly disappeared without a trace. All the court supplies were plundered by the Sasu people. The transport soldiers were killed by the Sasu, but unexpectedly, their bodies were found here. The person in the black cloak listened in silence, and then left. Hearing the movement, Xuefeng immediately reported, Prefect, the fish has taken the bait. He smiled. It's windy by the lake. Let's return to the inn. Xuefeng immediately replied, yes, leaving only Mo, Jiu, frowning in doubt. Back at the inn, guards stood on both sides of the door. Mo, Jiu suddenly sneezed. Xiao Qian approached with a bowl of medicine. It's autumn now, and the lake water is very cold. You've caught a cold. Drink this bowl of chill-dispelling soup. She immediately said to him, Xiao Lulang, you've come the right time. I have something I want to ask you. He sat down and asked, what does sister-in-law want to ask? She rested her chin on her hand and said, when we were at the riverbank, you said that traces of Xie Bingxing's men moving soldiers' bodies were found in the ancient tomb. Military supplies and munitions have always been a sensitive matter. If he was truly involved with the Sasu people, I'm afraid the entire Xie family would be implicated. You deliberately spoke so loudly just now. Was it on purpose for someone else to hear? At that time, Xie Shun's shadow guards were hidden in the dark. Prime Minister Xie was with you providing relief in Chu Prefecture. If he had known about the moving of the soldiers' bodies, how could he have allowed us to go down into the ancient tomb to investigate? Hearing this, Xiao Qian frowned. It seems that now he no longer has the mind to worry about matters in Chu Prefecture. His Majesty suddenly issued an edict appointing Xie Shun's maternal grandson, who is also the first prince, Song Shi, just born to consort Xie, as the crown prince. The date for the grand investiture ceremony has been chosen and must be held. This morning, Xie Shun already rushed back to linen. Mo, Jiu nodded. So that's how it is. Once the crown prince is established, I'm afraid you will face many disadvantages in court. He replied, this is not something you should worry about. Drink the medicine. Mo Jio immediately took the bowl and drank it all in one go. Then her face darkened. You, how much coptis did you put in this? Xiao Qian handed her a handkerchief to wipe her mouth, which startled her. She blushed and stammered his name. Xiao Qian said with a smile, this handkerchief is old. Letting you use it to wipe your mouth is just making use of something to be thrown away. Mo Jiu was stunned upon hearing this and cursed inwardly. Well played, you Xiao Lulang. It must be because I've been playing too many tricks. Otherwise, how would he have learned to counterattack today? At this moment, Xuefeng appeared at the door and coughed awkwardly. Prefect, Ninth Master, Mo Wang is here. Xiao Qian immediately said, tell him Ninth Master is drinking medicine and to wait outside for a moment. Mo Jiu hurriedly stood up. Wait, I've finished drinking. I'm coming out right now. But Xiao Qian reached out and grabbed her hand, making her cry out, ah. Immediately after, the door was closed, leaving Xuefeng locked outside with a speechless expression. Mo Jiu shouted, hey, what's gotten into you? Xiao Qian moved closer to her. Her cheeks flushed and her heart raced. He asked, is sister-in-law in such a hurry to see him? She quickly pushed him away, replying, no, it's just... She thought to herself, what is going on? Is this guy trying to seduce me? Something like this just happened. Too close. At this moment, Xiao Qian and Mo Jiu were standing very close to each other. She shyly whispered, Xiao Qian. He smiled, taking her hand that was resting on his neck. then lifted her chin and said, "The light in the room is too bright. I couldn't see clearly. I thought sister-in-law had a mole on her face, but it turned out to be a K-crumb." She was startled to hear this and asked what. Xiao Qian immediately stepped back. Mo Jio called out, "Xiao Lulang." He continued with a smile, "To meet Mo Wang. If sister-in-law doesn't want me around, you could have just told me to make myself scarce. Why the need to go outside? It's cold out. Just meet him in here." After speaking, he walked past her. At this moment, she was so embarrassed her face turned beet red and shouted, "Xiao Lulang, I am a person of abstinence. If you dare to deliberately seduce me like this again, do you believe I'll break my vows?" Xiao Qian still said nothing, just continued walking with a smile. Infuriating Mo Jio. Mo Wang, who had just entered, was very surprised to see him smiling. Mo Wang stepped forward and bowed. "Miss Jio." Mo Jio coughed and asked, "After we parted at the ancient tomb behind the Shao residence that day, have you been well, senior brother?" Mo Wang replied, "You being trapped in the tomb was due to our lack of consideration. I hope Miss Jio can forgive us." She gestured, "Senior brother, please sit." Mo Jio poured in tea and said, "Today Mo Jio has invited senior brother here because I have something to ask. If you feel apologetic, please tell me the truth." Mo Wang smiled. "So it's because of that incident that Miss Jio has been distant with me," he thought to himself. "So be it." He took a statuette from his robes and handed it to her, asking, "Miss Jio, are you looking for me this time because of this item?" She took the statuette to examine it and said, "As expected, there's an ancient tomb beneath the stone statue of the virtuous maiden blocking the river in Zhaoji town. You knew about this too, senior brother?" Mo Wang nodded. "That is the Sun tomb. The former master of the Mo school once built the 8 trigrams tombs to protect something. The 8 tombs are named after the 8 trigrams, not buried according to the positions of the 8 trigrams. Let's call the tomb you were trapped in the Kintomb, and the one under Zhaoji town the Sun tomb. And the most important things hidden in the 8 tombs are 8 jade maiden statuettes like this one. The jade statuette from the Kintomb is currently in my possession." Mo Jio stared at the statuette in her hand, then put it down and asked, "Something worth the Mo school going to such lengths to protect? Surely can't be just a treasure like this." Mo Wang wrote 3 characters on the table with his finger. 1,000-character guide. Mo Jio was puzzled. What is the 1,000-character guide? Mo Wang wiped the characters away and explained. It is an ancient text that records the methods for crafting many exquisite weapons researched by the ancestors of the Mo school. It has a total of 1,000 characters, hence the name 1,000-character guide. The ancestor worried it would bring disaster to the world, but couldn't bear to destroy his life's work. Thus, it is said that the ancestor later sealed it within the altar for worshipping heaven at the Mo school's headquarters on Shinno Mountain. People believe that whoever obtains the 1,000-character guide will obtain the world. Mo Jiu listened with doubt. Another story about heroes fighting over a treasure? So what about the 8 trigrams tombs and the altar for worshipping heaven? Mo Wang continued. The altar for worshipping heaven has a total of 9 levels. The first level contains the mechanism blueprints, and only successive disciples of the Mo school are allowed to enter. As for the Jade Maiden statuettes, they are the keys to opening the remaining 8 levels. After listening, Mo Jio rested her chin on her hand and thought. So that's how it is. She moved closer to Mo Wang and continued, "If the Jade statuettes are so important, it's illogical that you locked me in the Kintomb where a statuette was placed. Why on earth did you do that?" Mo Wang explained. "Before answering that question, I also have a question I'd like to ask Miss Jio to answer." She nodded. "Go ahead." Mo Wang said, "If one day you were needed to shoulder the great responsibility of the Mo school, would Miss Jio be willing?" Early the next morning, Xuefeng was scratching his head in the courtyard. Xiao Qian walked over and asked, "What are you doing standing here, scratching your head?" Xuefeng was startled and replied, "Usually Miss Jio is the most enthusiastic about her meals, but it's past breakfast time today, and her door is still shut tight." Hearing this, Xiao Qian grew suspicious. Xuefeng continued, "Your subordinate is worried. I wonder if Miss Jio has run away. But there are no female attendants at the post house, so your subordinate didn't dare to enter rashly to check." After hearing this, Xiao Qian pushed open the door to her room. He approached the bed and called, "Mo Jio, Mo Jio." He touched her forehead and was startled. So hot. With her complexion like this, could her cold have relapsed? She opened her eyes, clutched his lapel, and called, "Xiao Lulang, I'm cold." Xiao Qian said to her, You have a fever. I really shouldn't have let you and Mo Wang talk so late last night. You were already chilled from being in the water, and then you opened the door to the night wind for so long, making your illness worse. Lie down first. I'll have someone get medicine for you. He helped her lie back down and tucked her in. She opened her mouth to ask, aren't you curious what he and I talked about so late into the night? I am not interested. Mo Jill muttered. Your mouth says one thing, but your heart says another. I asked him for a current geographical map. Xiao Qian was puzzled. It's not like we're going to war. This item is hard to find. What do you need it for? She replied, because Mo Wang told me that I am the new Juzi of the Mo school and told me to find the 8 trigrams tombs, open the altar for worshipping heaven, and retrieve the 1,000-character guide. After hearing this, Xiao Qian remained silent. Mo Jio frowned. As expected, you're not surprised at all. She recalled what Mo Wang had told her yesterday. To be honest, Miss Jio has been designated as the Juzi, recommended by the old Juzi. She was shocked and asked me, the new Juzi? Are you joking with me, senior brother? Mo Wang replied. The matter of the Juzi is of utmost importance. How could I joke about it? Heavens will cannot be defied. Miss Jio just needs to accept this. There's no need to be so surprised. Mo Jio asked him, Xiao Lulang, so you've known about the Juzi, the altar for worshipping heaven, and the 1,000-character guide all along? She immediately grabbed him by the collar and asked, what exactly are you trying to do? How many things have you hidden from me? I don't understand what this title of sister-in-law even means. Mo Jio pulled on his collar. Lulang, you received the bride and performed the wedding ceremony in your older brother's place. But you told me that older brother of yours is still alive now. Is that true? Hearing this, Xiao Qian's entire body shook. He replied silently, sister-in-law is speaking nonsense again. Suddenly, he was startled, looking down to see her arms around his neck. The two looked at each other without a word. Xiao Qian asked, still not letting go? She smiled and replied, answer my question truthfully, and I'll let go. He asked back, you think I wouldn't dare to be rough with you? She nodded, of course you would dare. It's just that I have a high fever right now, so sick that a gust of wind could knock me over. Who knows, with one push from you, I might just fall into your arms. Xiao Qian turned his head away and said, you let go first. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Mo Jio sat back on the bed. If I was wrong just now, you could have just denied it. But since you're beating around the bush like this, it proves I guessed correctly. Xiao Changzi is no longer alive, right? Xiao Qian picked up the blanket and replied, how did you know? Mo Jio continued, if a man is so obsessed with a woman that he must marry her, no matter how gravely ill he is, it's impossible for him to refuse to see her after the wedding. If he trusted you so much as to bet the lives of his family, even entrusting his wedded wife to your care, I absolutely don't believe it. I'm afraid there's no man in this world who could do that, unless he was already dead. Xiao Qian said in a low voice, you guessed correctly. My older brother passed away long ago. She was puzzled. Then the person I met at the Nanshan courtyard before, was someone you found to impersonate him? He nodded and replied, yes. This play your Xiao family is putting on, what exactly is it for? He immediately explained, it's not the Xiao family. The only ones in the Xiao family who know about this are me and my father. She was puzzled. So you insisted on having a non-existent person marry me because of this Juzi identity of mine? He said in a low voice, who said to the new Juzi, do you believe everything Mo Wang says? In the ice chamber last time, didn't you hear that he owed a debt and had him all figured out? Hearing this, Mo Jio was startled. Xiao Qian continued, the identity of the Mo school's Juzi has wide-reaching implications. You don't need to get involved in these muddy waters. Mo Jio hugged her legs and said, oh, then asked, but if it's not for this, then why did you do it? He smiled, because I'm a son of a daughter. The second and third branches still have several sons. The Xiao family's estate wouldn't fall to me. Father hoped that my older brother could continue to live. As long as the eldest son is still around, regardless of his health, outsiders will have nothing to say. She was curious. So, this was originally your father's idea, to have you play 2 roles alone, to let the eldest young master live. He turned away and replied, perhaps he hoped the one who died was me, not my older brother. Seeing him like this, Mo Jio thought to herself, I've never seen him so lonely. Suddenly, Xiao Qian was startled. He turned his head to see Mo Jio hugging him from behind. She comforted him. Don't be sad. She reached out to lift his chin and asked, from now on, your sister-in-law will dote on you often. Xiao Qian frowned and called out, sister-in-law. He reached out and swept her into his arms, saying, now you know that there is no longer a Xiao Chongzi in this world. The one who welcomed you into the family was me, and the one who performed the wedding ceremony with you was also me. Emojio, this way you address me. I'm afraid it's no longer appropriate. She blushed. You put me down first. He tightened his arms, wrapping them around her waist. What if I don't let go? Xiao Qian held Emojio's waist tightly and said, what if I don't let go? She blushed and started to speak incoherently. I'm still sick. She quickly pushed him away, saying, I'm about to infect you. See, I'm almost out of breath. Xiao Qian poked her cheek with his finger and asked, you were the one who said you wanted to dote on me. Why is it that as soon as I take the initiative, Ajio is already planning to retreat? The two faced each other. She blushed deeply, asking in a daze, what did you call me? He smiled without saying a word. She chanted in her mind, beauty clouds the mind, beauty clouds the mind. Emojio straightened her clothes and turned to leave. Xiao Qian smiled. If you can't handle it, then don't go around touching people next time. Hearing this, Emojio gritted her teeth in anger. He stepped forward, draped a cloak over her, and instructed, with such a high fever, go back and rest. I'll have someone bring the medicine over. Soak in some hot water. The chill will dissipate faster. Once you're better, I'll have someone take you back to Jinzhou. She was curious. What about you? When are you going back? He replied, I'm not going back. The flood season in Jinzhou has just passed, and the bodies of the transport soldiers were dug up in the ancient tomb yesterday. This matter needs to be reported to His Majesty urgently. In a few days, I will set off for the capital to report on my duties. The Duke's residence is preparing to move to Linen. We'll set off in a few days. You and I will meet again in Linen. She reached out and grabbed his lapel, saying, if you're not going back, I'm not going back either. I want to go with you. He immediately said, even though my older brother is gone, you are still nominally the eldest young madam of the Xiao family. How can you travel with me? She turned and replied, you can figure out a way. Since you could fake an older brother, you can also fake a sister-in-law. Don't even think about leaving me behind. Otherwise, you'll have to ask if the pair of goo insects on us agree. Xiao Qian fell silent upon hearing this. Goo insects? He sighed. Fine. The person I sent to the Miao territory earlier has sent back news, saying they found someone with deep knowledge of goo poison. If that's the case, then come with me to the capital to meet her. 10 days later, in Linen, Xiao Qian's carriage stopped, and he got out, saying, we're here. Get out of the carriage. He reached out to help her down. Someone immediately came to greet them. Prefect, you've arrived. He asked, has the saintess from the Miao territory arrived? The person replied, she entered the capital the day before yesterday. Knowing you would be returning to the residence today, this old servant sent someone to invite Miss Peng at noon. She has just entered the guest hall. This must be Miss Gio. Your quarters have been arranged. Let this old servant take you to rest first. Xiao Qian took her hand and said, that won't be necessary. She's staying with me. She looked around and asked, the saintess from the Miao territory you mentioned, is she the one who understands the goo poison in our bodies? He nodded. Mem. Her name is Peng Xin. The goo poison in our bodies was created by her grandmaster. He led her to a room and pushed open the door. Inside the room, the saintess from the Miao territory, Peng Xin, was already waiting. As soon as she saw the two of them, she smiled. I have long heard of Prefect Zhao's reputation. Today, I finally have the pleasure of meeting you. Peng Xin smiled in greeting, holding a black cat in her arms. Xiao Qian began, Miss Peng, it's a pleasure to meet you. Mo Jiu stared at her, thinking to herself, I've long heard that the foreign tribes have many beauties, and it's indeed true. Peng Xin noticed the flower-shaped mark on Mo Jiu's neck and asked, you are the other host of the Cloud Rain Goo? She was startled. Wait, what goo? Cloud Rain Goo? Is that the cloud and rain I'm thinking of? Xiao Qian said with a headache. It's a long story. Miss Peng, please have a seat and we can talk. After sitting down, Peng Xin explained. The cloud rain goo. The cloud goo is yang. The rain goo is yin. Those afflicted with the goo must engage in the act of yin-yang union to suppress the poison's flare-ups. And Mo Jiu was puzzled upon hearing this. But Prefect Xiao and I have been poisoned until now. And we have never, Peng Xian explained. From what I can see of your conditions, the goo insects are likely not yet mature, so they haven't induced any amorous feelings. But once the goo insects mature, if the hosts of the male and female goo still have no physical intimacy, the host bodies will collapse and they will die. Hearing this, Mo Jio rested her chin on her hand and sighed. Well, that's a bit tricky. Xiao Lulang, if the goo poison flares up, you wouldn't do that, would you? He frowned. I'm afraid you'd be the one to do it. I, Ninth Master, have a very good upbringing. Heaven and earth can bear witness. I absolutely do not lie. Xiao Qian asked the saintess, does Miss Peng know how to cure this goo? Peng Xian replied, forgive me, Prefect Xiao. Although this goo was created by my grandmaster, no one in my school knows how to cure it. What about outside the school? Peng Xian said slowly, her tone full of hidden meaning. The prefect is indeed sharp. My grandmaster and the old Juzi of the great Mo school had an extraordinary friendship. It is said that before his passing, he told the old Juzi the cure for the cloud rain goo. The old Juzi then recorded this matter in the 1,000-character guide and sealed it in the altar for worshipping heaven at the Mo school's headquarters on Shinong Mountain. Peng Xian shook her head, feigning helplessness. Mo Jio frowned upon hearing this. The 1,000-character guide again. Mo Jio and Xiao Qian looked at each other in silence. That night, Mo Jio sat alone on the railing by the lake, her long hair blowing in the wind. The faint moonlight shone on her slender shoulders. She wore only a thin layer of clothing, her arms wrapped around her knees. Her gaze was fixed quietly on the dark water below, the moonlight shattering on the still surface of the lake. Xiao Qian approached silently, saying nothing, only draping a cloak over her from behind. The warmth that passed through the fabric startled her. He was by her side, his low voice echoing in the quiet night. Sitting here alone in the wind in the middle of the night? What are you up to again? Mo Jio didn't turn her head, her eyes still fixed on the distance. Thinking of what Miss Peng had said during the day, Mo Wang said, I am the new Juzi. I never cared about being the Juzi, the 8 trigrams tombs, weapon blueprints, or fighting for the world. What do those things have to do with me? It's just that if the cure for the cloud rain goo is really in the 1,000-character guide, I can't just think about myself anymore. Xiao Qian looked up at the sky and said, the world is vast. Opening the altar for worshipping heaven might not be the only way. Besides, to open the first level of the altar, you need the new Juzi's handprint. If you're not the Juzi, it would all be for nothing. Emoji nodded. I still have to try. That Peng Xian said, the cloud rain goo are symbiotic, living and dying together. If the rain goo dies, the cloud goo will also die. If the cloud goo dies, the rain goo will also explode and die. I don't care what happens to me, but you. She recalled what Peng Xian had said. That's right, after arriving in the capital, I heard something. It said that the emperor has long intended to decree a marriage between Princess Yujia and Prefect Xiao. The prefect is now a future prince consort, yet he is afflicted with the cloud rain goo with another young lady. Mo Jio was puzzled upon hearing this. A decreed marriage? Prince consort? Peng Xian continued. Shangya stole this goo, so my school is also a victim. If the emperor asks about this matter, I hope the prefect can come up with a perfect plan to avoid implicating my school. Recalling these things, Mo Jio smiled and said to him, so if you and I really live and die together, when the emperor bestows the marriage one day, how will you explain it to that Princess Yujia? He replied confidently, no need to explain. No one can force me to marry someone I don't want to marry, not even the emperor. Mo Jio tilted her head sarcastically. Oh, no one can force you? Then you performing the wedding ceremony with me, was that really voluntary? He draped the cloak over her and said, it was just a temporary measure. She pouted, displeased, but he had already taken her hand, pulling her over and asking, stop messing around. Your cold just got better. Do you want to catch the wind and get sick again? Mo Jio angrily pointed at him and said, it would be best if I infected you, so you get sick and die. Let's see how you marry that princess then. Xiao Qian stepped forward, concentrating on readying the strings of her cloak, asking as he tied, if I die, what will you do? Hearing this, Mo Jio fell silent. From that night on, every word he said lingered in her mind. If I die, what will you do? At this moment, Xiao Qian was eating with Mo Jio. Seeing her dazed and unresponsive, he called out, Mo Jio, Mo Jio. She finally came back to her senses. Xiao Qian asked. You've been spacing out ever since that night. What are you thinking about again? She grinned and teased. I'm thinking that now that our lives are tied together, am I more precious than your ancestors? Hearing this, Xiao Qian said nothing. He quickly picked up a piece of meat and stuffed it into Mo Jio's mouth, rendering her speechless. Seeing this, she was extremely annoyed. He teased with a smile. Not a single proper word comes out of your mouth all day. No talking while eating, no words while sleeping. Just eat your meal obediently. She swallowed the piece of meat and immediately scolded. Xiao Lulang, you bastard. Just then, Xuefeng came to bow and report. Prefect, there's trouble. He asked, what is it? Xuefeng immediately reported. A scout reported back. Princess Yujia left the palace to offer thanks at a temple. Unexpectedly, on the way, she encountered the Xiao family's female relatives who came into the city today. The princess somehow heard some baseless rumors about you and the eldest young madam and is making a scene, demanding to see the eldest young madam, but the old madam refused. The two sides are currently at a standstill. Hearing this, Mo Jio suddenly remembered. Yujia is the princess betrothed to Xiao Qian, but the Mo Jio in the carriage now is clearly an imposter found by Xiao Qian. She tightened her grip on her chopsticks and asked, this is interesting. The princess wants to see me. Once the Xiao family has everything arranged, we can meet anytime. Why must she block the road now? It seems less like she wants to see me and more like she wants to put the Xiao family in their place. Moreover, the princess lives in the Forbidden Palace. Even if there really were rumors about us in Jinzhou, she's all the way in the capital. How could her news be so timely? Xiao Qian shook his head, his voice low and firm. You also said she wants to put us in our place. The emperor has just established the crown prince. The Xie clan is gaining power in Linen, and now the entire Xiao family is moving back. Today's commotion, I'm afraid someone wants to use Princess Yujia's mouth to beat the mountain to frighten the tiger. After speaking, Xiao Qian stood up, his cloak fluttering with his decisive movement. He ordered, Xuefeng, gather a team of men and horses and come with me. Xuefeng immediately bowed and replied, yes, your subordinate will make the arrangements right away. Seeing that he was about to leave, Mo Jio hurriedly followed and said, wait, I'll go with you. I'll secretly switch with the imposter. In the Xiao family, besides our confidants, no one knows I'm not in the carriage. The old madam doesn't know the truth. Well, she can't stop the princess. Xiao Qian turned around, his gaze calm and cold. Do you think grandmother is stopping Yujia to protect you? No, it's because I told her long ago that the eldest young madam's madness is getting worse, and she cannot see anyone. If we don't want to lose face in public, we must absolutely not let the eldest young madam show her face. Mo Jio's eyes widened in astonishment. Then her gaze turned to anger. She scolded, you're really something, Xiao Lulang. Xiao Qian only gave a faint smile, then turned and left. At this time at the Xiao residence, Princess Yujia, the crown prince's biological sister, supported by her maid, said to the Xiao family members, this palace has long heard that the eldest young madam of the Duke's manor possesses extraordinary beauty. Today, I happened upon her after leaving the palace. It seems to be this palace's fate. I just want to meet this talented and beautiful lady of the Mo family once. Yet the old madam, Xiao, keeps stopping me, unless there is some hidden reason. Old Madam Xiao bowed to her and explained, Your Highness the Princess exaggerates. My eldest granddaughter-in-law has always been in poor health. A person who has been ill for a long time. What outstanding beauty could she have? Moreover, her madness is now getting worse. This old woman is afraid she will harm your highness. But she still refused to give up, saying, Old madam. Just then, Xiao Qian appeared, calling out, Your Highness the Princess. As soon as Princess Yujia saw him, her cheeks flushed red, and she called out, Sijuan Xiao. This palace thought I was not fated to meet the Sijuan today and was feeling quite regretful. I didn't expect such a small matter to trouble the Sijuan to come here, fulfilling this palace's wish. At this moment, Mo Jio was secretly preparing to climb onto the carriage. The girl impersonating her in the carriage was startled and asked, Who is it? She gestured, Don't shout, lest others hear. Seeing it was Mo Jio, the girl breathed a sigh of relief. So it's Miss Jio. Mo Jio walked over and said, It's been hard on you, having to pretend to be me these past few days. But now is not the time to reminisce. Please trouble yourself to switch clothes with me. The girl immediately replied, Yes. Below, Xiao Qian was speaking to Princess Yujia. According to my grandmother, my sister-in-law is crude and impolite, and now her illness is acting up, so it is truly inconvenient for her to meet the princess. Why don't you return to your residence first, princess? When my sister-in-law recovers, grandmother will surely bring her to your door to apologize. She thought to herself, I thought it was strange just now that he would personally come for such a small matter. His feelings for this sister-in-law are truly unusual. So she continued, to have a Sijuan's protection like this, your esteemed sister-in-law is truly fortunate. It's just that imperial father has decreed a marriage between me and you. So this palace and Miss M.O. can be considered sisters-in-law. If my sister-in-law is unwell, how can this palace pretend not to see? It would be more reasonable to pay a visit. She tightened her grip on her handkerchief, pushed past Xiao Qian, and pointed straight at the carriage. He called out, Your Highness the Princess. She pushed aside Shui Fong, who was standing by the carriage, and yanked the curtain hard. Insolent. Get out of the way for this palace. But as soon as she lifted the carriage curtain, she froze, her movements stopping. Someone shouted loudly, His Highness the Crown Prince has arrived. The Crown Prince's carriage approached, extremely magnificent. Seeing his carriage, everyone knelt to pay their respects. Princess Yujia asked in surprise, Imperial brother? Emojio was also extremely surprised. The Crown Prince? Xiao Qian paid his respects. Greetings to His Highness the Crown Prince. May your highness live for 10,000 years. The Crown Prince replied, Minister Xiao, you may rise. The Xiao family's move is supposed to be a joyous occasion. My younger sister has been rude today. I hope Minister Xiao can forgive her. Xiao Qian replied, Your highness is too kind. The Crown Prince continued, Li Shan, send people to clear the way and escort young Master Zhao's family into the manor. Yujia, you will return to the palace with this palace. Li Shan immediately replied, Yes. Princess Yujia ran over and called, Brother, but the Crown Prince cut her off. No more words. Back to the palace. Xiao Qian paid his respects, respectfully seeing off His Highness the Crown Prince. In the carriage, Mo Jiu lifted the curtain and looked at the carriage ahead, thinking to herself, What's with this Crown Prince? Isn't he on the same side as the Xie family? To make such a grand entrance, it's as if he deliberately came to rescue the Xiao family. Moreover, why does his voice sound a bit familiar? The carriage stopped in front of the manor gate. Minner came forward to help Mo Jiu, saying, Eldest young madam, be careful. She smiled and asked, Silly Minner, you don't recognize me? Minner was overjoyed. Sister, you're back? She wondered, Why are you alone? Where is Annie Lon? Minner replied, Auntie previously told the Xiao Manor steward that her son is making a living in linen. As soon as we entered the city today, she went to visit her relative. So that's how it is. Just then, Xiao Qian walked past her. She called out, Xiao Qian, wait. He turned his head and reminded her, There are many eyes and ears here. Sister-in-law is not yet well. It's not convenient to be outside. Hurry into the manor to rest. After I speak with grandmother, I will go to my eldest brother's courtyard to request medicine for you, sister-in-law. She smiled slyly, teasing, Oh, all right then, I'll have to trouble my sixth brother-in-law. He seemed accustomed to her teasing and remained silent. Just then, when Jing Shu, supported by Xia Qing, walked by and saw this scene, unable to help but frown. An hour later, Minner said to Mo Jiu, regarding the matter between you and Siju and Xiao, Annie Lon has instructed me not to speak much, so Minner will not ask. It's just the eldest young master's attitude towards you. Sister, that's something Minner really doesn't understand. From Chuzhou to the capital, he was heavily guarded, yet he never once asked about his newlywed wife. It's truly strange. Mo Jiu smiled. You shouldn't worry about this either. If he doesn't come to see me, I can have some peace and quiet by young Master Zhao's side. In the future, you and Annie Lon don't need to come and bother me either. Minner replied, Yes. Minner will listen to you, sister. The appearance of Sijuan Xiao Qian startled the little maid. He walked over and said, You may go and rest. The little maid bowed and replied, Yes. Then she withdrew. Seeing him arrive, Mo Jiu smiled teasingly. Sixth brother-in-law has arrived. Xiao Qian sat down, picked up a teacup, and poured for himself, saying, Foolish, aren't you afraid of heavenly punishment for taking advantage? She smiled. You call me sister-in-law, so naturally I call you sixth brother-in-law. It's a fair exchange. How is that taking advantage of you? She glared at him, and seeing him drink it all in one gulp, she was petrified. He frowned and asked, What are you glaring at me for? Are you so stingy you can't even spare a cup of tea? She pointed at the teacup and replied, It's not that I'm stingy, it's just that I just used that cup. Hearing this, Xiao Qian's expression darkened. She licked her lips, pointing to the lipstick stain on the rim of the cup, and said, "Right here." Xiao Qian stared at the cup in his hand, stained with Mo-Jio's lipstick, his gaze gradually turning grim. After a long while, he finally spoke, his voice seeming to come from between his teeth. "Since the cup has been used, why was it placed back on the tea tray?" His voice was not loud, but it concealed a simmering rage. And Mo-Jio raised her head, cocked an eyebrow, completely unafraid, and even retorted confidently, "This tea set has 4 cups. How was I to know that you would come into the room and use my cup?" After hearing this, Xiao Qian could no longer hold back and slammed the teacup down on the table. And Mo-Jio wasn't flustered at all, but instead teased, My, how rare. The living king of hell can also get shy. His face flushed red, and he angrily ground out each word, Mo-Jio. She replied nonchalantly, "Present. Why are you shouting so loudly?" He cleared his throat and asked seriously, "You called me at the door earlier. What was it about?" "The sky is already dark. It's not convenient for me to stay long. If you have something to say it quickly." She didn't answer right away, but gently tugged at his sleeve, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "Actually, it's nothing, just that there were a few things I couldn't figure out before. Today, in the carriage, hearing your conversation with Princess Yujia, I've figured it out instead. Curiosity got the better of me, so I wanted to find you to confirm something." As she spoke, she poured a fresh cup of tea. "Since I entered the Xiao family, what I've heard people discuss most is you. They say Siju Xiao is a master of martial arts in Nanning. His knowledge is encyclopedic, his medical skills are unparalleled, that you command an army of 1,000,000, second to only one and above all others, the most powerful man in all of Nanning." He immediately replied, "It's just empty fame. You saw it today, too. If the crown prince hadn't intervened, I'm afraid even a princess who has never contributed a single thing to the country could walk all over the Xiao family, who have expanded Nanying's borders and bathed in the blood of battlefields. Under imperial power, all are but ants." And Mo-Jio walked past him and gently pushed open the window. The night breeze blew in, rustling a few strands of her hair. She looked up at the sky and slowly asked, "But in your heart, you don't really think so, do you?" This question was like a sharp arrow, hitting the bullseye. Xiao Qian was stunned, then frowned. What was she trying to say? She turned her head, a half-genuine, half-fake smile on her face, but her eyes were so bright they seemed to see through his heart. "On the way to Linen with you, you had close contact with your secret agents, but you never deliberately avoided me. Among those people, there were even many faces that were not from the Central Plains." She leaned in close to him, whispering in his ear, her breath brushing past, causing his neck to stiffen slightly. "Your identity is not just the Privy Commissioner of Nanning, is it? You are also not willingly selling your life for the Nanning royal family, are you? You're not the kind of man who likes to have his fate held by others, and you would never let others threaten you so easily." Xiao Qian remained seated, his eyes as deep as the sea, his voice lower than ever. "You don't seem to know how dangerous these sharp words of yours are, do you? Even the young Prince Song A.O. wouldn't dare to have such suspicions about me." She smiled and asked, "Then tell me, am I right?" He thought to himself, I never expected her to understand me so well. For her to lay bare such a confidential matter so bluntly, I don't want to lie to her anymore. He let out a laugh, his voice hoarse. "When you're not mad, you're really quite clever. The days ahead are long. For the slap the Xie family gave us today, I will definitely repay it in the future." Mo-Jio was curious. "Then will you still marry Yujia?" Xiao Qian looked up at her, his eyes shining brightly, the corners of his mouth curling into an unreadable smile. "Aju, rest assured, I will not marry anyone, unless..." She immediately pressed, "Unless what?" He didn't continue, just let out a sigh and turned around. "It's late, sister-in-law should rest early. I'll be leaving." Seeing this, she stomped her foot in anger, but getting more and more impossible. But Xiao Qian didn't look back, his dark figure quickly disappearing. That night, Mo-Jio was sitting at her dressing table in her room when she suddenly heard a knock on the door. A voice came from outside. "Is Miss Jio there?" She pushed open the window and saw a servant standing before the window, so she asked, "You are?" The servant outside the window said respectfully, "I apologize for disturbing you so late at night, Mississippi. This lowly one has come at my master's command to invite you to his residence for a visit. My master said, when you see this bow, Miss, you will naturally recall that day, and your linen appointment with my master in Chuzhou." Seeing the bow in the servant's hand, Mo-Jio was inwardly astonished. She recalled the face of the man sitting on the flower boat drinking wine, who had asked, "Is the young lady calling me?" She thought in shock, "It's Dongshi." Afterwards, Mo Jio put on a cloak and was led out of the Shao residence by that servant. And behind them, Xuefeng had witnessed everything. Seeing this, he said, "That person sent someone to sneak into the manor late at night. It must be for Miss Jio. Sijuan, should we send someone to follow them secretly? It's so late. What if something happens to Miss Jio?" Xiao Qian, standing beside him, replied, "No need." Hearing this, Xuefeng let out a sigh. Xiao Qian turned and said, "Even if something were to happen to you, nothing would happen to her." That person led Mo Jio into a villa, guiding her to a courtyard. He stopped at the steps and gestured to Mo Jio. "This way." Mississippi Dong, she was sitting in the courtyard, smiling as he looked at her, and asked, "You've come. Come and sit." Mo Jio walked over and said, "I didn't expect to see you again so soon." Dongshi, the maid pouring tea nearby, heard Mo Jio call the master by his name directly and was so scared her hand trembled, spilling the teacup. She let out a cry of alarm and hurriedly knelt to beg. "This servant was rude. Please spare my life." "Master," Dongshi said, "you may withdraw. Pass down the order. No one in the manor is to come up here unless necessary." The maid immediately kowtowed and replied, "Thank you, master, for your mercy." Then she hastily left. Emoju looked at the maid's hurried back and wondered, why was she so scared? Did I say something wrong? Or should I not have called you Dongshi? He smiled and asked, "My name is Dongshi. What's wrong with calling me that?" "It's just that I heard you had entered the capital, and I remembered my linen appointment with you, so I took the liberty of inviting you over." She smiled. "It's not presumptuous, but I see you here in brocades and silks, attended by beauties, protected by experts. You say you're a distant relative of the Shao family, but why have I never seen you with them? Tonight you were able to sneak into the Shao manor and bring me out without anyone knowing. Tell me the truth. Who exactly are you?" Dongshi smiled and replied, "You and I are strangers who met by chance, becoming friends through food. I don't ask who you are, and you don't need to ask who I am. Tonight's reunion is an elegant affair. If we mix in these worldly matters, wouldn't it defile the fine food and sully the mortal realm?" She said, "I'm immortal to begin with." "Dong," she said, "but the dishes tonight were all made by my own hands. They are not of the mortal world." She smiled. "Actually, your identity, I can roughly guess it without you telling me." He raised his wine cup and asked, "Oh? Then tell me." She replied, "You are well informed and your movements are mysterious." Seeing that maid's reaction just now, it must be due to your long-established authority. Could you be some kind of rebel or bandit? Hearing this, Dongshi spat out a mouthful of wine, then burst into laughter. Seeing this, she asked cheerfully, "What? Was I right?" "It's all right. Everyone wants to be an emperor. I understand you, and I'll keep your secret for you. It's strange. You clearly refuse to reveal your identity, but I always feel a strong connection with you. Perhaps it's because the food you make suits my taste so well." He reached out and tucked a strand of her hair, asking, "Suits your taste? Is it the food or the person?" "Jior, can you tell the difference?" She was startled. "Dongshi, I." Then she took a step back and said, "Meeting you is like Bo, you meeting Zi Qi. It truly is fate. It's just that if we're talking about becoming friends through food, it's better not to let this feast go to waste." Dongshi was stunned, withdrew his hand, and said with a smile, "A fine boya and Zi Qi. Then tonight I will play a tune. Would Jior like to listen?" She immediately replied, "I would be greatly honored." Dongshi walked to the zither, sat down, and began to play. The sound of the zither rang out, leaving Mo Jio mesmerized. The music was at first wild and unrestrained, then sorrowful, as if plucking at the unspoken feelings in one's heart. Mo Jio walked into the middle of the garden and plucked a chrysanthemum. The chrysanthemums have withered. The ground is full of sorrow. The flowers fall and one's heart breaks. Dongshi sighed. "A beautiful poem, just a bit sorrowful. The autumn night is cold, and this place is in the path of the wind. You shouldn't stand here for long." She replied, "This place of yours is truly beautiful. It must have cost a lot of money, right?" Dongshi stood behind her and asked, "If you like it, how about not going back to the Shao Manor?" Mo Jio was stunned upon hearing this. She looked up at him, only to see Dongshi stepping forward, draping a cloak over her. She averted her gaze, thinking to herself, "I remember a gentle and handsome person once said the same thing to me. If he had said not to go back to that wretched Shao Manor, I would have agreed without hesitation. But now, Xiao Qian and I are bound by the Yunwu Gu. If I leave, what will happen to him? So she shook her head. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm already married to another. How can I not go? I have to go back. Dong, she sighed. All right, I'll have someone take you back. In the future, if I want to find you for a drink, will you still come? She immediately replied, you said you would take me to eat all the delicacies of linen. Why wouldn't I come? But don't be so sudden like tonight. Give me a heads up so I can prepare. Dong, she reached out and tied the cloak's ribbon for her, saying, as you wish. It's a promise. Anytime, this place, if you come, I will be here. She thought to herself, such a handsome man, with such gentle words. If he wanted to pursue someone, an ordinary person would be completely unable to resist. Luckily, I'm not an ordinary person. She raised her hand and said loudly, a promise is a promise. Dong, she looked at her, thinking to himself, silly girl, we've met again in another world. Yet you don't recognize me. Mo-Jio's carriage was returning to the manor when it suddenly slowed to a stop, startling her. What's wrong? She lifted the carriage curtain and saw a figure ahead. Thinking to herself, that figure is... Mo Wang appeared, gesturing with his hand. Shoo, Miss Jio. She asked in surprise. Eldest martial brother? Mo Wang got into the carriage and sat with her, asking, how did you know I was here? I was worried that coming to the capital so suddenly, I would lose contact with you. Mo Wang replied. Although the Mo family is not as prosperous as it once was, gathering information is not difficult. It's just that after you enter the capital, you've been staying in the Privy Commissioner's manor. That place is loosely guarded on the outside, but tight on the inside. It wasn't convenient for me to come see you, so it has been delayed until now. With that, he handed her a scroll, saying, this is the comprehensive world map you needed to find the 8 trigrams tomb. Do you have any other requests? She took it and replied, no other request for now. I just want to ask one thing. Martial brother, last time we met, you said I was the Gui Z of the Mo family. But how exactly do you determine the new Gui Z? Is it just because my 4 pillars of birth are purine? Mo Wang then said, it can be verified. Do you remember the heaven-worshipping altar on Shini Mountain that I told you about? The first level of the heaven-worshipping altar is opened using the Gui Z's handprint. Whether you are the Gui Z or not, we'll know with one test at the altar. It's just that because of the Tianziyin, the matter of the Mo family's new Gui Z concerns the entire world. If we take you to the heaven-worshipping altar to verify your handprint now, once the new Gui Z's identity is announced, it will not be beneficial for you or the Mo family. She replied, so that's how it is. Mo Wang asked, Miss Jio, you weren't interested in the matter of the Gui Z before. Why are you so